What a special night it is. Hello to everybody in the chat. It is the last Thursday before game week. And, the closer we get to this game, the more and more it seems like things just want to pop up in our way. But we're going to have a good time either way it goes. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. My guy Nick is in the back handling the ones and twos for us, as Shay dubbed them last night. So I definitely want to thank y'all all for being here. But we have a special guest again tonight. When I tell you he is the man, he is the standard of Baton Rouge and LSU sports media. He is the dream. He is the dream that I am literally chasing. And it's truly a blessing to have this man not just become a friend, but a mentor to in a short amount of time, man. When God opens up doors, you walk through them. And I can't thank the Lord enough for this angel that he's put behind me, the Bud Man, Buddy Songy. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, Bud Man. How you feeling?
My pleasure, AP. Good to talk with you. Good to talk with Nick. I got to tell you something, folks. That was one hell of a show you and Shay did last night. I was just watching it, amazed at Shay going back years, you going back years. This guy, what he had for breakfast, where he's coming from with Carr, all these guys for 28. I just loved it so much. Believe it or not, folks, I enjoy listening. Everything that is right about this world. He has humility, he works hard, and he knows what he's talking about. And like all of you who love what you do on a daily basis, he has passion. And man, what great football takes. The only problem that AP and I have sometimes is that we don't get the microphone enough on questions to the coach. But generally speaking, Anthony Parker gives at least one or two great questions every week. I enjoy his friendship. We just met, but we feel like we've been knowing each other for years. And I am honored to be on your show because you've been on mine. And I can't thank you enough for that, AP.
I don't know what Anthony Parker you're talking about, buddy, but I need you to stop lying on me because that guy sounds amazing. Thank you so much, buddy, just for being, like who you are. I mean, I couldn't praise you enough. And if this would end up being the whole show if I just sat up here thanking you for all the things you've done for myself, for my family so far, and all in the entire LSU and Baton Rouge community. So thank you for everything, buddy. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
What's up with all this crap, man, that's going on with these players? Did you hear about this Dallas judge that just granted?
Yeah, I did hear the latest with the Dallas judge, and also the Louisiana people have amended, and now they're starting to want to hold the SEC and Greg Sankey in the situation. And look, you and I have talked about it. I'm going to throw the F word around tonight, folks.
Uh-oh.
But it's not the one that you feel like.
Uh-oh.
It's not the one that you think. It's called FOCUS. And what's problematic for me, Anthony Parker and Nick and everybody out there in chat land, is that it's come at a bad time. They have done an incredible job rebuilding this program that was left on the golf course. And lo and behold, they've come in here. Folks, do you realize what Lane Kiffin had to do? 3 days into his job, he had to sign a class, and he was able to get 15 signatures on the dotted line. They did add an additional 2 for 17 recruits come in. That's the first recruiting segment. And he doesn't know about LSU. He's never been in Tiger Stadium. He doesn't know we spell go, G-E-A-U-X, but he adapted, as he's done in many places. Got that done. Then he worked on the portal. 43 transfer portal guys. Here's the kicker, AP, that I'm so impressed with. You go after the talent. You want the 5-star. You want the great left tackle. You want the quarterback. You want the offensive lineman, the guard, the linebacker, the edge. Oh, baby, wait till you see Prince Well. He will get a sack next Saturday night I guarantee you that's my opinion, and I think he's going to get double-digit sacks.
Uh-oh.
Kiffin and what he's doing, all of this before he's even worked at LSU for 2 or 3 months. He's recruiting now, and here's the word where it comes into play. All this momentum, all of this hard work, and we could tell just by spring and now what has happened in fall. Everybody says, you guys don't see anything. He let us stay for hours upon hours in the spring. If you're a good reporter, if you're a good sports guy, you take notes, you retain that information. You know that Bo Bordelon is the story early. Whoever thought this guy would play left guard and start? Then you hear about Dylan Carpenter. Then you hear about Braylon Moore, who just got given the honor of playing 18, wearing 18, not with his big jersey, but with the little circle.
Right.
Because he's got to wear a number as an offensive line. But all these things that we get to, everybody's getting excited. Now, you use the P word. No, not the bad one, but playoffs.
Yes.
Okay? And so my point tonight to start with you, AP, is that I'm a little worried that after all this momentum, and let's just call it the way it is, folks. That's what we do in this business. Lane Kiffin has had a tendency to lose one game every year that he should lose because of a lack of FOCUS. Now, moving forward, all of this jibber-jabber, all of this legal stuff, it kind of puts a little fly in the ointment. So I'm hoping that when the judge comes in on Monday, that we can have some finality and they can move on. I don't know if that is going to be the case, but from a prep standpoint, from a potential standpoint, from a football team that you're going to be damn proud of, all of that was looking good 10 days ago. And let's just hope that he's letting Billy Glasscock and all those other people and the attorneys worry about that, because you got a football game to go to and play in 9 days. And I want to see that team that we potentially saw. No, we haven't seen them hit. No, we haven't seen a lot of 11 on 11. But the potential is there. The other thing I didn't finish with, when you recruit talent, AP, as you know, the other part of the equation is chemistry and character. And every player interview that we have done or heard, they talk about the locker room vibe. And it's not about, hey, man, you making $4 million and I'm only making $350,000. We haven't heard any of that, okay? So they're getting along. They're talented. I think they're going to go into P-World, playoff land, if they stay healthy.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. But the court case got moved from Monday to Thursday. And I think it's due to those amendments that you mentioned earlier. So that's probably what helped push that case back. And Texas is enjoining the Louisiana case. So that all of this is coming into effect. And I wonder what your man, Paul Feinbaum would have to say about this. I wonder how he's going to feel when all this stuff comes into play and LSU gets to play with these extra players on this roster.
Well, I'm going to show a little respect. I did have to go to about my third funeral in the last week, and so God bless those people that have lost loved ones. And
yes,
and quite frankly, folks, I'm not going to mince any words. I was trying to go to the celebration of life and just was exhausted with football, traffic, and I watched it on TV, and I'm glad I did, because Ben McDonald had me crying like a 3. It's been very emotional. And look, I told AP, he came on the other day. I didn't know if I was going to have a show. We had a weather issue that fried some of our equipment, so I didn't have a show on Monday. We got on at the last minute on Tuesday. AP was fantastic. But don't ask me about when this judge is going to say what. Back to Paul Feinbaum. He's still mad that Lane Kiffin ghosted him on media day in Tampa because Lane was in the morning, and Lane had a lot more things to do than going on his show. But I'm going to show some respect. I am known to be spicy, but I will say this. You'll never see me eating fish with Paul Feinbaum.
Look, we all from South Louisiana. We all from the South, baby. Most of us from South Louisiana. We could take a little hot sauce tonight. It's a Thursday night at 8:15. Kids are not in the car. It's okay, man. Like, put the women and children to bed and let this man cook right now. If you got to add some spice to this conversation, I'm sorry. Go get you a cup of water. Get you a glass of milk. We got Buddy Songy, and I want him at his peak, at the peak of his powers. Buddy, you do you. The stage and the microphone is yours, sir.
Well, no, I just, as we get into this football team and get into this upcoming year, I was talking to one of my new sponsors that we just brought back. And, folks, it is a great time to be a Tiger. Now, let me set this up real quick for you. Lane Kiffin has replaced Brian Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Will Wade has replaced Matt McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Johnson continues to bring in great talent, and they are back. They are loaded. Kim Mulkey, another great recruiting class, had a little problem with a Ukrainian and a Russian, and unfortunately, Kate Kowal decided, as most of you know, her dad fights in the Ukrainian army, so that was going to be a tough sell, but she has appreciably improved her bigs, and so I see them being very good. And Jay Clark, oh my goodness, the biggest shaft job of all of this past season was in Oklahoma and LSU gymnastics.
Yes.
You talk about a sham. You talk about a screw job. If you watched it, folks, Oklahoma girls on the floor got 5 of the top 8 scores. Not only that, LSU lady was on the beam and they froze her. They literally froze her discussing the scores. And the next young lady was sitting there for 3 minutes before she could get on the beam. And all I'm going to tell you is that Jay Clark and the Lady Tigers deserve better. That all being said, the expectations are high. It's LSU. But I think you are going to see an appreciably better athletics team. And then, of course, we got to talk about Verge and Dr. Roos and all the new people here. But I am a little concerned that there could be too much focus on this thing. I'll ask you, AP, what do you want to see LSU do? What about this controversy? Because you got players on the team that aren't saying anything, but they've been busting their butts. On the flip side, the tight end, oh my goodness, if you had Dae'Quan Wright and Trey-Des Green outside in the bunch formation, people would call it unfair. The big D tackle has been hurt with the Saints. He's heavy right now. I don't think he would be a factor. I do think the Notre Dame defensive end is going to get cleared. And, of course, everybody's waiting to see if Jack Pyburn would get cut from Tampa Bay and if he would end up being a Tiger. But quite frankly, at this point in the game, AP, I am ready for Lane Kiffin and LSU to say, you know what? We tried our best, but let's move on. I don't know if the good that those new additional players, if they were allowed to play, would override the potential bad. And so I want to see some kind of finality with this stuff. Every day it's a different ruling. It's a different this. It's a different that. But if they can get over all of this crazy stuff on the peripheral, I think this football team's going to surprise the fans in a lot of different ways. And we'll talk about it tonight. And I'll go as long as you want, AP.
Man, don't tempt me with a good time. I'll open up my last call-in show for people to tap in and kind of communicate with us, because it's a community that we're building over here. And I want to make sure that we have a true formative fan base and a true family. And, me and myself in this chat over here, we even pray together, buddy. I'm not ashamed to hide my faith. So don't tempt us with a good time, because we're going to take it. Now, how I think that they should handle it is the way that they're doing it. LSU and Lane Kiffin have a responsibility to field the best team possible with the best eligible players possible. And nobody's sitting up here crying about Trinidad Chambers getting a 6th year. Nobody's sitting up there crying about Diego Pavia winning 10 games last season. Nobody was crying when Charles Bediako was playing with Alabama and no games were vacated for him playing. So it's not like these extenuating circumstances are abnormal now. It seems like this is the way all college athletics has gone, because the NCAA has abdicated itself from holding up the framework of rules. And if that's what you want to do, if you don't want to make rules and enforce rules and have punitive punishment for the rules not being upheld, then you got to go to court, because the court supersedes all conference rules. And once you do that, you got the rules in place to play the players that you are deemed fit to play. So play them. I'm not here. My paycheck is not determined on how well LSU performs on a football field. Does it make the job that we do easier? Is it more entertaining if they're winning? Absolutely. Do I want to sit here Monday through Thursday and discuss courtroom decisions and temporary restraining orders and what lawyer is covering this player, what judge is handling this? No, I don't. I want to talk about the sport. I want to talk about the game. I wanted to get to break down Clemson this week. I haven't even talked about a whistle that's going to be on the sideline, because we're talking about legal documents and paperwork being filed. But at the end of the day, it's their responsibility to field the best team possible. And like you said, Dae'Quan Wright and Trey'Dash Green being lined up, imagine you have 7 and 8, because I really do hope that they go with your request. As you said, if Lane Kiffin has the onions, you take number 8 off Hassan Longstreet, you give that to Dae'Quan Wright, and then you give 5 to Hassan Longstreet. And then you put...
No, you meant the other way. Dae'Quan Wright would get 8, and Hassan Longstreet would get 5.
Yeah,
as you get that right? Because what happened, folks, is that Longstreet was wearing 6.
Right.
And that's problematic, because everybody knows Winnie Watkins and TJ Dottery were wearing 6. So they moved him to 8. So what I would do, if Dae'Quan Wright got eligible, he wore 8 at Ole Miss, I would give him 8, and I would give Hassan Longstreet number 5, and I'd send a package to Miss Daniels and say, can you come watch us on the night of September 5th? Actually, I don't know if he'd be playing by then, but I'd send Mrs. Daniels, Jade's mama, a bona fide letter saying, hey, come see the new number 5.
Right. Come see it.
Absolutely how they handled that situation. And what a great speech by Ben McDonald, Jay Johnson, all those guys. Brought tears to my eyes. I can't say it as well as Ben said it, but 5 national championships. I think that is a 5 that we can all get behind.
That is the 5 that we can all get behind, for sure. Now,
Ben is the greatest. Ben is the greatest, man.
Yes. Ben is absolutely GOAT. And that moment where he threw up that L when he got choked up and everybody threw it back at him, oh, that was such a beautiful mess, an iconic moment, man. So I do want to know, Buddy, what are your overall thoughts and expectations for this offense? Let's start with the offense first. We've been out at practice. We've seen them toss the ball around a little bit, hit some sleds, thud up a little bit against each other. What are your thoughts on the offense?
Well, let's go through it real quick, folks. As I do radio, and I apologize, you're not going to see my ugly face tonight. I would rather you hear my voice, but Jordan Seaton's number 77. He came over here probably in the 320 range. All of a sudden, no more Subway, no more McDonald's, no more Chipotle, no more this. He started eating lean. He started working with the guys. He realizes it's his money year. and he's going to be the bell cow at left tackle. Left guard's been the story of the fall camp. Bo Bordelon has always been a backup. Now, Bo Bordelon will be calling the snap on the punts. He's in the middle of the three guys that protect the punter. He's always been an LSU legacy. People know that's Ben's son, and, of course, he's got another son who's a redshirt freshman. And so he's at left guard. Braylon Moore. What does that say about this young man that they give him 18? I'll tell you what it says, in my opinion, that he deserved it. He does everything that you want for a guy that gets 18. He does it in a quiet manner. He leads by example. Obviously, he's got to be incredibly talented. All of a sudden, folks, he has to do the following things. Without a huddle, he's got to come to the line of scrimmage, make the calls, identify the safety and the backers, make sure that Sam Levitt and him are on the same page, have a perfect shotgun snap back to Levitt, and then he's got to put his neck down and his body down and block these 330-pound nose guards and inside D tackles. Braylon Moore is just as important to the health of this team as Sam Levitt is. Alu Ba at right guard is a baller. I saw this guy in the LSU food facility, and everybody was eating great food, and Alu Ba says, give me some nails for dessert. He is a road trader, and let me tell you what, you want to get in an alley fight, I want a little bit of 55 coming with me, Alu Ba. And then you got Weston Davis. Everybody says Weston Davis was the weak link last year. Still 75. His body's trimmed up. I think they're working better. Oh, by the way, no disrespect for the former offensive line coaches, but I think Eric Wolford and James Craig are doing a great job of getting that group to play as a group. And here's the beautiful thing about it, folks, that many of you don't realize. Ole Miss saw the same success on offense, and yet they didn't have any all-star offensive linemen in the last 2 or 3 years, maybe one or two. But the point I'm trying to make is that, okay, so you're giving up pressure up the front. Well, guess what, folks? You're going to see the screen. You're going to see the bubble. You're going to see the jailbreak. You're going to see the ball delivered very quickly in space, a lot of motion, a lot of faking. And so even if this line is not going to win the Joe Moore Award, they are going to call plays that protects the quarterback and the offensive line. So I will now take a breath and let you kind of talk about what we just mentioned. And this is a $64 billion question, folks. Is this offensive line? They're going to be better. The question is, are they going to be appreciably better and block enough to open up holes for the running backs and, of course, keep Sam Levitt from under duress too often? AP, I'll hand the football off to you now.
Well, first and foremost, my wife told I'm not about to get in trouble with this young woman when she comes home. My wife says, hi, buddy. She's in the chat tonight. She says, hi, buddy, and thanks for coming on the show tonight. She is tuning in to hear you, buddy. So definitely want to say thank you for bringing my wife into the chat. She shows up very consistently, but the fact that she wanted to make it be known that she is here to listen to you is a major thing. So thank you so much. And also Nick's mom, my mom, shout out to you, Jeannie Phil. Love you so much. She's tuning in to us tonight to hear from the great Buddy Songy as well. And also all the members of the chat that are shouting you out right now. P. Lee, Stephen Young, Cam, all of you guys that are active. Ant, my guy, American Patriot, LSU, Unk, all of y'all, Alex, are all saying hello to Buddy right now. And thank you. And they got some good questions for you that we're going to save for a little bit later. But to respond to what you said, this offensive line was not aggressive. And I think that the scheme that we were running did not set this offensive line up for success. Offensive linemen you want to see moving downhill. And at no point did we ever see LSU's offensive linemen moving forward. They were very passive. They were playing soft in pass coverage and pass protection, as well as in run blocking. Everything was built off of the RPO, but there was no aggression in establishing the run, which is why it didn't work. this offensive system automatically makes your offensive line better. I think, honestly, this will be Lane Kiffin's best offensive line that he's had as a head coach. Just starting at left tackle. He has never had a left tackle as good as Jordan Seaton. And I don't think he's ever had a center as good as Braylon Moore. You can go back to his time at Alabama, and of course, those times as an offensive coordinator, he's had better offensive linemen. But at the same time, this is the best offensive line that he's had. And I think we're going to see just how much improved this offensive line is when it just comes to running the ball. That facet alone is going to improve this team, not just the offense, but the entire team, because then you'll be able to play complementary football, and it all starts up front. So you made a great point. Like, we can talk about the receivers, we can talk about the running backs, we can talk about Trey Green, we can talk about Sam Levitt, but none of that matters if they cannot get the ball and do something with it because the offensive line is breaking down.
Let me interject something real quick, folks. Anthony and myself have been very fortunate. There's nothing better than having a mother that teaches you the landscape, humility, truth, class, integrity, living up to what you say, doing what you say you're going to do. And so even though I hadn't met your mom, I'm very impressed with her because I see what Anthony Parker has developed. Now to LaToya. LaToya, behind every great man is even a better woman. And it's not easy to be a wife or a coach, a player, or a media person. We're constantly looking at the phone. Honey, are you ready to eat? Oh, yeah, but Sankey just did it. I mean, it's so hard. But I always say it. Take care of your family. Love your family. And none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. If you got a little rip with somebody in your family, go make it right. Because if something happens, you'll forever be sad and regretful. And, of course, if you have loved ones who do get sick, take care of your mama, your daddy, and your kids and your brothers and sisters, because we can pick our friends, but we can't pick our family. And so I'm a big guy on family. We've been very, very lucky with my family. We all get along. Lost my mom, Miss Josie, and lost my dad, Big E. But the lessons that I work for to live up to their legacy every day is something that I never forget. So, folks, don't ever forget where you came from.
Beautifully said, buddy. And, like Nick, we're talking about Nick's mom. Nick's mom is she's like my mom. I've known Nick since I was 20 years old. He and I are basically brothers, I swear. If you see Nick, if you see Nick, you could tell we're completely opposite. But I promise you, if we both had the same skin color, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between us apart. Like, we are literally, the same person. That's my brother. No matter what, we are bonded, not blood, but we are bonded through family. Unfortunately, I lost my mom next month makes 7 years that my mom has passed. And like you said, buddy, you make things right. My mom and I didn't have the best relationship at all, and my wife can attest to this. She was there. My wife's been with me since I was 17. But towards the end, my mom and I made it a point to mend those fences and bond and grow and make sure that we healed, and we did. And I love the relationship that my mom and I ended up having before she passed. So, like Buddy said, man, life is short. You're not promised tomorrow. Whatever issues you have between yourself and family members, go make it right. Have conversations, share love, and push kindness. Like, don't spend time, getting upset at things. Like, I got Bill in the chat who's not a fan of LSU, and clearly he's not a fan of being a human, which is why he's making this comment. Yeah, we're gonna preach whatever sermon we want in this chat, my guy. If you don't like it, you got an option. It's a free country. Turn off the stream. It's okay.
Hey, Pete, I apologize for sounding like a preacher. I hope people realize I never talked down to you. But when you go through 3 funerals in a week, you get a sense of reality. We talk about sports and we live vicariously through LSU because that's our business. But if Bill has a problem with preaching, you know what we say? Bill, I say it every day, more than once. Jesus, I trust in you. And if you don't have a relationship with God, you don't believe in God, you better be right, Bill. So I apologize preaching.
Hey,
who's the AP?
Buddy, I'm going to cut you off right here. Don't apologize. This is my show. And I preach on this show all the time. The chat will tell you they love it. That's what they're here for. I pray on my show, and I'm not ashamed of it. And I never will be. What you're sharing is very valuable. And if somebody doesn't want to hear it, it's a free country. Nobody's forcing anybody to be here. That's why I'm grateful for everybody that is, because they're taking their time and appreciate and taking their time and investing it into here. So if Bill doesn't like it, Bill has an option to go watch and support whatever team he cheers for, because he's not an LSU fan. He's in here just trying to troll, and that's okay. Let him troll. I don't block trolls. I let them come in, because at the end of the day, they're just people too. You know, like, as long as they're not being disrespectful and they're just talking about what's going on with sports, cool. Talk your trash. We all talk trash to each other. But the moment that you start calling people out of their names, that's where I draw the line at. We're not going to have that. We're going to respect each other. We're going to treat each other with love and kindness. We're going to keep this thing moving forward. So no, you never have to apologize for preaching on this phone and on this show. That's never.
Well, let's move back to football.
Yep.
So we started with the offensive line, and so if we were to give a grade, AP, before the season, and you look through after the year, what do you think the offensive line grade would be after this season is over?
After the season, so I would give this offensive line, if health is not an issue, if they stay healthy, all 12 games, I'm saying 14 games, because we're going to get 2 playoff games. So I would say that I'd give this offensive line a B grade.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I would give them a solid B. And so now we get into the skilled people. Folks, yes. You are going to absolutely, speaking of B, Sam Levitt is a baller.
Yes.
Had some media people earlier on saying, I don't know if I'm sold on him. Of course, we all know he had the list, Frank. I'm going to have Matt Mark on the show next week. Matt Mark was leading LSU to an unprecedented season, and Jimbo Fisher, they were beating the living snot out of Florida, and Jimbo Fisher called the play. We had availability with the media in those days, and as we were walking to practice after LSU had clobbered Florida and Matt Mark got hurt, I point blank asked Jimbo. I said, Jimbo, did you call the play? He said, yes, I did. This is one of those things where you always have to be cognizant that if you lose your quarterback, then it certainly changes the expectations of the football team. It's hard to get a bunch of great quarterbacks because everybody wants to get paid and everybody wants to get playing time. Hussam Longstreet has great potential. I think Landon Clark's a year away. But back to Sam Levitt. He is going to throw the deep ball. If you've been listening to me, I've been on an 11 high. Yes. I predicted LSU and the AP to be 11. The strength of schedule from the especially stupid programming network, FBI, had strength of schedule at 11. I'm predicting Princewell, 11 sacks. And I'm predicting Trey'Dez Green, 11 touchdowns. Well, let me tell you what, folks. I'm going to throw one more 11 in. 11 deep balls over the top to guys like Philip Wright III, Chase Brown, Winnie Watkins, Jackson Harris, Barber. Oh, by the way, don't sleep on Malik Elzy. He's a good-looking kid, 6'2", about 215. Mother Shed is a mother to cover. I don't know where they're going to end up playing him. They have receivers for days. Now, how they're going to pare down those 8 or 9 that we see making plays at practice, Are they going to play 6 or 7? Are they going to play 4 or 5? They will go over the top, and then we get into Dae'Quan Wright. Oh, my goodness, I had to take double blood pressure pills one day because Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan hurt Dae'Quan Wright trying to block.
Oh.
BK said, they're going to make him an overall tight end. He's going to be able to do everything.
Wow.
And I'm here saying, Coach, nobody in the country can guard this guy one-on-one. He is the perfect example of a matchup problem. 6'7", 240, basketball player, knows how to shed people, knows how to shade them. Everybody knows you throw it up in the end zone, and he goes and gets it. If you come over the top, you got pass interference, and they're trying to use him as a frickin' blocking tight end, and that's when I got spicy last year, AP.
Man, buddy, I think that's when I got spicy too. Between trying to use Dae'Quan as an inline blocker and trying to make Harold Perkins as an off-ball linebacker, I didn't know what this. I knew this coaching staff did not. Well, Brian Kelly as a coach did not know how to properly use these types of athletes. These athletes who are just talented and just know how to see ball, get ball, play ball. He did not know how to use that level of athlete that the SEC can produce, especially Louisiana. And when we talk about this offense, first of all, the fact that you mentioned Philip Wright first. Philip Wright is one of the, if not the fastest player on this team.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned this to Carter Bryant back in March, that he was on the bubble in my rotation for some of the wide receivers. And the reason why is because out of all the receivers that LSU had on this roster last year, he was the only one Lane Kiffin and his staff kept. You don't bring him back if you don't see some type of a role for him. Now, he has to go out and earn it, which I think he is. He's shown it. He's shown the flashes over spring. He's shown it throughout fall camp. And I think that he's going to be a weapon, especially as we get into the latter part of the season, that Lane Kiffin will use to exploit these defenses. And this receiving group is so deep. It is deep. And they're all versatile. And like you said, Malik Elzy is going to be a problem to watch. I'm enjoying every bit of his growth this entire offseason, and I can't wait to see how they line him up, because he too is a matchup problem. He's 6'2", 180 pounds. He's a physical specimen who can run smooth routes and has really, really good hands. And he's starting to flash in practice a propensity to just make special plays. And I got a feeling against Clemson, he might catch a pass where you're like, whoa, didn't expect that one. Not from 88 on offense.
Well, they list him at 210, 215, so I think he's a little bit bigger than 180. But I purposely left somebody off the list, and his name is Eugene Trey Wilson. He actually played in the game when Jaden Daniels accrued 606 yards. 242 of those yards were rushing. I've never seen an LSU quarterback take off around left end and go 85 yards, because usually the quarterback gets caught. And so I give props to JD. I wish that thing had certainly not evolved the way it was, but that's spilt milk. Nothing you can do about it. Trey Wilson played in that game. I think he caught a touchdown in that game as a freshman. He's a fourth-year junior, and number 3 is going to be everywhere. He can return punts. I'm watching them play action to him. He's going to get it in space. He's going to have the slants. He's going to have the back shoulder throws. And he's also going to go vertical. So, Nuss threw a great deep ball his first year. Everybody was amazed at what he looked like in the SEC championship game against Georgia when he was a true freshman. But he didn't hook up last year. Unbelievable to tell you before and after the season that Aaron Anderson and of course, the former boyfriend of Flau'jae,
Chris Hilton.
Absolutely. Neither one of those guys caught a touchdown pass, and neither one of those guys, as you know it, Chris, he had some problems. He's a great high jumper, can leap out the thing, but he had timing problems, and he would mistime his jumps. But I am telling you, you are going to see LSU throw the deep ball, and a lot of it is because of the ability of Sam Levitt. Now, talk to Mike Detillier, the walking, talking encyclopedia NFL. He interviewed Sam Levitt in 24 at the Manning Passing Academy. Sam Levitt has confidence. Sam Levitt is cocky. Sam Levitt believes in himself. Sam Levitt is the fastest running quarterback at LSU since Jaden Daniels. By the way, AP, I hate it. I'm old school. I can relate to 4.4 a lot easier than 20 miles an hour, okay? Mm-hmm. But as we know, we've evolved into this mile per hour thing. That being said, Sam Levitt, in my opinion, is going to get up sometime in the first quarter, and he's going to run over a small Clemson DB, and he's going to get up with his fist, and he's going to say, yeah, I'm back. And the LSU fan base is absolutely going to love number 10. But Detillier did ask him, is there one thing you want to work on? This was 2 years ago. Everybody knows they made it to the playoffs with Scatterboo, who was one of Nick Saban's favorite running backs. And everybody said, yeah, I saw him against Mississippi State. Folks, he's playing for LSU. He's playing with 100,000 fans behind him. Yep. He is going to have the biggest high of his life 9 nights from tonight, saying, oh, my God, I feel like I'm in heaven playing in Tiger Stadium. But there's one thing he's going to have to do. Under duress, when that pocket gets tight, he's going to have to make that decision. Do I eat the football? Do I throw it in the stands? Or can I make that play in a small window under duress and pressure? And I think that is probably going to take a couple games. Most people feel like the offense will be good, but it won't really be on all cylinders, maybe until week 3 against Ole Miss. But, folks, you got a quarterback. And if 10 stays healthy and if Braylon Moore stays healthy, you are going to be having one heck of a team, one heck of a time. And all the naysayers, get you a good-looking black cat that's got the purple. Because with Will Wade and, of course, Lane Kiffin and Kim Mulkey, you better have a black hat because everybody in the country is saying, you guys in Louisiana are a bunch of POSs.
Yes, we are. Bill is in the chat saying it right now, calling us a bunch of crooks.
When ignorance is bliss, it is foolish to be wise.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm not even paying it no mind. So
but I'm fired up about Sam Levitt, and then we'll get into did we finish with the wide receivers, and then we'll get into running backs. Anybody project on the wide receiver talk?
So on the wide receivers, I mean, we talked about it. Nobody in the chat really brought it up, but everybody's reacting to your response about Sam Levitt because I've been saying it the entire time. I've been saying it since February that I feel like Sam Levitt with Lane Kiffin is a Heisman Trophy finalist. I think Sam Levitt being with Lane Kiffin is a more intriguing prospect than seeing Trinidad Chambliss in Lane Kiffin because you're talking about a bigger, faster quarterback with a stronger arm than what Trinidad Chambliss has. And while Trinidad Chambliss is very mobile and elusive, he escapes the pocket to make a throw. Sam Levitt escapes the pocket when there's no other throw to be made, and he's looking to run and extend the play for 10, 15 yards. Now, not saying Trinidad Chambliss does not have that ability because he does, but Sam Levitt makes people miss when there's not an ability to make someone miss. Sam Levitt is special. He's the complete package of a modern-day quarterback, and the rest of the country that is not aware of what's about to take place here in Baton Rouge on Nicholson Drive. And I'm telling you, when he runs out that tunnel on September 5th, and the first time he shoves that ball inside the stomach of Dylan Jones, and that end comes crashing down around the corner, and he pulls that thing, and there's a linebacker scraping over the top, and he puts his foot in the dirt, I'm talking about that right foot he had surgery on. He jumps back and makes that man miss, turns the speed on, stiff arms a cornerback, trucks a safety, and gets tripped up at the 25-yard line. Like you say, he's going to stand up. He's going to look up and yell out so loud because that's his announcement that not only is he back, but he's back and better than ever. And that is going to be the moment that LSU will be introduced to Sam Levitt. I cannot wait. I got goosebumps right now just thinking about
it. Amen.
Cannot wait. So let's talk about the running backs right quick, buddy.
Sure.
We return Caden Durham, Harlem Berry. We add Dylan Jones, Stacey Gage, Racine Guillory. We've been able to go out to practice. We've seen what these running backs look like, and Dylan Jones just physically looks different. I've been saying since he signed that he was the difference maker, the addition to the running back room that we needed because he's a physical downhill runner that we didn't have, a guy that could break a tackle at the line of scrimmage and still pick up 5-6 yards. What are your thoughts on this running back room and how it stands right now for LSU?
I'm going to be frank with you, folks. They're going to play the hot running back.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a love-hate relationship, all of us, with Frank Wilson. I specifically remembered LSU was playing Carolina a couple of years ago. And they're down 17-0. And Caden Durham looks like Todd Kinchin going from one side to the other, zigzagging, throws his body in the end zone. I think he scores from something like 39 yards. My phone's lit up. I don't like to text. I don't take calls. I focus in on the game. I'm a nerd with that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I'll do it after the game. But I'm going like, oh, my God, people. And here it comes. Do you think Caden Durham is going to be back in the next series? I said, no. We'll probably see Josh Williams. Frank, as much as you love him, did not have a good idea of playing the hot running back. It's going to be running back by committee, but when a guy helps you win the game, I think you give him a little bit of gratification and say, you go back in there, and when your tongue is dragging, you raise your hand and we'll put somebody in there. So the first thing is that Kevin Smith is playing chess, and poor Frank is still playing checkers.
Preach.
Okay? Nothing against Coach Wilson. He's done a lot of good things. That being said, let's get into it. Boy, he's a wrestler. He's the kind of guy you want. You know, every time LSU had 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you ask whoever's in the game next to you, you're watching it, you have TV, you're in the place. What are you going to do here? Well, you got a guy now that is strong. He's got great lower pad level, and he's being taught all the nuances of the running back position by Kevin Smith, who I think is going to show people that Kawan Lacey is a guy that came in, and I don't know, and I don't think he could have accrued all those touchdowns and yards without the daily teachings of Kevin Smith. I think he's one of the best running back coaches in the country. He's going to get the best out of everybody. But Dylan Jones, you're going to like 5'11", 215-ish. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a short yardage guy. I don't think if he can run away from people 60 yards or whatever, but he is going to be very, very impressive because he does the little things. I remember this years ago, AP, and here's the problem with people in running back. When you hear running back, you say, well, he mostly runs. And obviously, that's one of his jobs. But he's got to stick his neck and his body for pass pro. That's pass protection. And I think Dylan Jones is going to do a good job of pass protection. Yeah. He's got to turn those hips and those shoulders around when you catch the swing pass. And he's got to do the little things other than running. So he's probably going to be complete. Is he going to make all SEC? No, but he's going to be very valuable for this team. Now we get into Harlem Berry. And I got a little fun with Harlem Berry. This deal with the world's finest chocolate. If you can keep the chocolate hard and edible. Because, if you bring your chocolate to the stadium on the night of September 5th, you're going to have some ice on it because it'll melt all over you. And that brand new LSU shirt will be looking like you've been in a chocolate fight. But I'm telling people, every time Harlan Berry scores a touchdown, you take a bite of the world's finest chocolate. And I can't wait to see the number of ways they use Harlan Berry to once again utilize his talent. Lane Kiffin takes the pieces to the puzzle, and he gets every ounce of every person on that team, as we saw when he looked at Mullisher at tight end. And so Harlan Berry is going to be a flash and dash kind of guy. You're going to see him in some mismatches. I think he will be appreciably better. Look, AP, you know this. You've been around football all your life. The first year you're swimming. You're wet behind the ears. You're learning the nuances. You're playing from a small high school in Louisiana to the SEC, and everybody thinks, well, snap your fingers, he ought to be great because he was the number one running back. It takes time. I like his potential this year. Then you get to Stacy. And Stacy Gage is a guy that AP and myself and my buddy Mike Scarborough, give a great shout out to Mike Scarborough. What a job he's been doing at tigerbait.com. Yes. Working his tail off. We love it. And Mike asked a question about Stacy George and Gage. I'm sorry. I'm trying to watch TV and still talk here. I can multitask. Kiffin, you should be able to when I ask you two questions. That being said, Stacy Gage is a guy that you're going to love. Another guy, you put your foot in the ground, and he makes people miss. He's 5'10", about 210, and you're going to love him. And then, of course, Caden Durham. I think people forgot that Caden Durham was a really good running back before that offensive line tumbled onto him in the end zone and screwed up his toes. And the guy's never been the same. When Caden Durham was a freshman, he wasn't caught from behind. The last couple of years, not 100%, he has been. Now, everybody said, oh, man, he's back. He had 2 70-yard scores. Be cognizant of the fact that when you're running 3 or 4 on the depth chart, when you go against the scrimmage, you're going against the number 2 and the number 3 defense. If Caden Durham takes 2 to the house from 70 yards against that number 1 defense, then you got a story. But I do think you're going to see Caden Durham flash, kind of like he did as a freshman. And so that's 4 right now. Running back by committee. We've seen this at LSU all these years. And it's a great selling point because you tell a kid, look, you're going to play, you're going to score, you're going to get plenty of reps, but we're going to leave you with your tires having a lot of tread as you go to the NFL. Yep. Now, keep on Lacey. I think Coach Kiffin mentioned this the other day. He was part of that with Ole Miss, and he's part of Derrick Henry at Alabama. And, sometimes when you wear them out in college, it takes a little bit of their life away in the pro game. But the running back by committee, I think, is going to be excellent. And here's the great thing. Those guys have special plays. They're going to know who they want to call in when it's 3rd and 2 at the 12-yard line. They're going to know what to do on 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 9. Holy God, praise the Lord. No more 2nd and 9s where everybody in the stadium knows that they're going to have a delayed draw play to the fullback or the running back or right up the gut and lose 3 yards and leaving the quarterback with 3rd and long. That stuff is over. That kind of play calling is over. Don't forget, they snap it every 25 seconds. They're not going to huddle. And here's the beautiful thing. And I asked the coach about the red dot. It's been in the college game for 2 years. Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss. I had to give Charlie first props because he was the coach and the guy calling the plays when Kiffin was over here in timeout as the LSU coach. And they didn't let him go coach at Ole Miss, which I thought was a good decision. I don't think you can be the head coach at LSU and continue to coach Ole Miss in the playoffs. There's no way that works out. But that being said, you are going to love how fast they go, how explosive they are, how much they use motion, how they spread people out. But trust me, this coaching staff is so detailed. They've got a log of plays. Harlan Berry's best 10 plays. Same thing with Caden Durham. Same thing with Dylan Jones. And Stacey Gage, I think, is probably AP going to be a real surprise because people aren't familiar with him. They've heard all about Dylan Jones, but Stacey Gage is going to surprise some people this year, I think.
I'm right there with you. I think Stacey Gage is a pleasant surprise of fall camp. I think he's the one that that's stressing Caden Durham out a little bit. I think, excuse me, Harlem Berry and Dylan Jones, like you say, you're 1 and 2. They're your combo punch. I look at them like a diet version of Lindell White and Reggie Bush. And Stacey Gage and Caden Durham are going to get carries. It just is what it is. Who's going to be the person that is going to who's going to be the person that's going to be able to come in when their number is called? Who's going to be the person that's going to be able to step up and really produce? That's what's going to determine who's going to get the lion's share of those reps between Caden Durham and Stacey Gage. But we've got a couple of good questions in here for you. I want to start getting to.
Let's do it.
Get to the other side. Chance Babin asks, he says, hashtag ask Buddy, and he's hitting you with a couple, okay? Like you got to multitask now, all right? When did you get your start in sports? Was it radio always? And who was the first LSU coach that you covered?
I had to take a sip of water. Chance, I love your interaction on all of the sites. And it is so great to have LSU fans that follow it to this extent. No, it's not as important as paying your mortgage and taking care of your family and all of that. I said it for many, many years. Unfortunately, folks, Louisiana is 48th, 49th, and 50 in all the important things. And when you give this fan base a top 5, a top 10, a championship team, they hold on to it like it's their best part of life. They're proud. They go on social media. Yeah, my Tigers just won a championship. I was given an opportunity many, many years ago. And I'll be honest with you. I hope it's okay to keep going and tell these stories, AP. Tell me if we need to shorten it up because we can go for hours. You.
Nah, go ahead.
But I heard Dale Brown giving a 60-second motivational minute on WJBO. And Dale Brown said, you can accomplish anything you want in life. Get up out of bed. Go for it. If you want to do something, there's nobody that's going to stop you. So I made the trip down to a local radio station, and Lou Campbell and Don Nelson had a station on Sherwood Forest Boulevard. And I had been involved with sports. I promoted Superstar Competitions, which was a competition where I organized that. I always played sports. I was too small to play football, but played golf, racquetball, tennis, all of that, and baseball, a whole 9 yards. Did all of that. Had a little marketing degree along with a little journalism, connected the dots. And lo and behold, he says, I tell you what I'll do. I'll let you intern. Bob Broadhead was doing his show, and there was a guy by the name of Norman Nasty. And Norman Nasty's famous words was, get back, you flea bag. So, Bill, Norman Nasty passed, but I think he's up in heaven saying right now, get back, you flea bag, Bill. That being said, he let me intern. Broadhead ended up getting the AD job at Southeastern. So now I got to do a show with Nasty. And he was a trip. Only guy I ever met. And these were the days when you got the paper. It was the afternoon was the State Times and the newspaper was the Morning Advocate. Only guy I'd ever seen, AP, we doing a 4 o'clock show, and he comes in there, and he still got the rubber band on the Morning Advocate paper. So suffice to say, he didn't do a lot of prep. I said to Lou and Don, I want to have my own show. They said, work with Nasty, and we'll give you a show. And, of course, I got that 6 months later. Tim Brando had been on that show with WIBR. He started it off. Got to give thanks and props to Bingo, Bongo, Bango, Brando. But that's how I started. And the first coach that I had in the business was the guy that I had on last Wednesday, Mike Archer, who started 10-1-1. And the biggest problem he had, you know the biggest problem Mike Archer had, AP?
What was that?
He won 10 games the first year.
Yep, set the bar so high.
Once you do that, everybody expects it. He also dabbled in the Texas recruiting for, I think one year he brought in about 16 or 17 players from Texas, and they didn't bleed purple and gold. And so that had a fallout. He had some great wins. Unfortunately, he was a young guy, 34, when he got the job. He'll tell you that he probably learned on the job training, and everybody knows this is a tough gig to start off with. But that's kind of how I started. And then, of course, we've been doing it for 35 plus years.
Amazing start and story. I loved it. I'm glad you didn't shorten it. This is exactly what we needed. Chance also asked, how big of a pussycat is Greg Sankey, and do you think he's handling this situation correctly?
I made a call and wanted to know if Coach, I shouldn't call him coach. He was a coach, actually. He did some work. He was a golf coach. He was also at Northwestern State with Natchitoches, compliance guy. And I made a call a couple of days ago when he made everybody mad. And I said, does Greg Sankey have any dogs? And what are their names? And the information that came back was that no, but he does have a couple of pussy cats. And so he's soft. Unfortunately, he has not been playing poker very well. What he did, folks, was let ESPN come in here, and he brought in Oklahoma and Texas, and he didn't get a bunch of new money.
Nope.
The latest thing that he's done is said, well, let's go to 9. Tony Petitti challenged him. He said, we're going to go to 9 conference games. Well, that's fine and dandy if the CFP's got 16.
Right.
But they have 12. So you have 8 teams in the conference right now that are going to have an additional loss, and your LSU Tigers could go 9-3 and not make the playoffs because they've got 5 freaking road games because Greg Sankey wanted to make this change and get up to snuff with other teams and other conferences that had 9 games. By the way, the Big Ten's got 18 teams. 9 games is half the conference number. As he's got 16 teams. As we know, and everybody predicted it, when you have 9 games in a conference schedule, 8 of those teams are going to have 5 road games, and 8 of those teams are going to have 5 home games. Did you figure that LSU would get 5 road games from the start, AP? Because I certainly did.
I did. I definitely did. So Greg Sankey is definitely getting played from so many different ways. And I brought this up in the chat earlier, on my show earlier this week, for people who are saying, like they're mad at the SEC and they want to see LSU lead the SEC. And it's like, no, this is LSU is a founding member of the SEC. This conference will always be here. Greg Sankey won't. You want to see change? You start pushing change at the commissioner's office. He's made several bad moves lately. And it seems like the game is starting to pass him by. Tony Petitti is outmaneuvering him every which way he can. And now, since the Big Ten has been able to win the last 3 national championships in football, they feel like they're the team to beat, that they're the conference standard for the sport. And look, don't get me wrong, the top teams in the Big Ten are very good. But at the same time, the rest of the Big Ten is garbage. I mean, anytime we got Vanderbilt winning 10 games in the SEC, your conference is better than anything the Big Ten can put together. Indiana would fold underneath a schedule that LSU or Georgia would have to play. And that's not right. But it's the benefit of good leadership. So here we are.
Listen, I can listen to you all. Sometimes, folks, I apologize. We do practice reports and people say, SDFU, buddy, let Scarborough talk. And so I hand the microphone to Scarborough and he says a few things and then I get rolling. So I apologize for getting on a rant. Bill, I don't give a crap what you think.
Yeah, exactly. We don't give a damn about a bill.
But I admire you, AP, because a lot of times when people get in this business and you have all these bots and you have all these negative people, And, everybody's a badass behind the computer. Everybody's a badass on Twitter. Everybody can say everything. And, it's why I'm not on social media or Twitter, because too often, far too often, I'd read something and probably, unfortunately, say GFY.
What's that?
Go frick yourself.
I'm gonna start that. I was trying to set you up to say it. I'm gonna start that as a hashtag.
No.
Hashtag GFY. Hashtag GFY. That's one thing I've learned on Twitter specifically is that the people who hide behind these fake usernames and avatars or whatever, these bots, they can talk tough all they want, but you know what they don't like? They don't like being called Tink Tink for some reason. Every time somebody tries to call me a bee or pussycat, I just hit them with poor Will Tink Tink. If feelings hurt, it's okay. And you know what they can't do? They can't argue that back. It gets them confused. These people, like you say, they just want to talk tough. They want to act tough. I don't need to puff out my chest. I don't need to pretend. I'm just gonna be me. Because I know one thing: two mountains will never meet, but two people will. And most of the time, these people who say things on these screens will never be man or woman enough to say it to your face. So I don't let it get me worked up. It is what it is. Tiger Mark is in the chat. Tiger Mark says, tell Buddy Dylan Jones will rush for 102 yards versus Clemson with a touchdown and have 3 receptions for 33 yards. And he wants
Who's that?
Tiger Mark 225.
No, who do you say is going to rush for that?
Oh, Dylan Jones.
Dylan Jones. Well, I got to tell you, he's been impressive, and most of us assume that he's going to be the starter on September 5th, but I don't really think it's going to matter. Like I said earlier, the one thing, LSU had an OC years ago, and he loved these wide receiver runs. Matt Canada, I think, was his name.
Oh, my goodness.
And he came in there and said, guys, this is what we're going to effing run, whether you like it or not. Now, Coach O wanted to pick him up by the throat and throw him against the wall and take him to the fishing camp. But anyway, I digress. The great thing about the staff that I have learned from the start of following them in the spring is that you can say whatever you want about Lane Kiffin and all he's done in the past. I really do think the man has matured a ton in the last year. And I think when you talk to Pete Carroll and you talk to Nick Saban, they have probably screamed at him many times and saying, grow the frick up. And you know what? I think he has. And so where I'm going with this is that they are so detailed. Dylan Jones may start, but then you're going to see Harlan Berry. Then you're going to see Stacey Gage. Then you're going to see Caden Durham, just like you're going to see with the wide receivers. Oh, by the way, real quick before we get to the defense, Grace is a kid over from Oregon. Most people think he's going to be an H-back, number 44. Malachi Thomas from Pittsburgh, who was going to start over at Pittsburgh. He could be the surprise player that nobody even talks about because I think he's got potential. Trey-Dez is going to be fantastic. And anybody else that you feel like will contribute, we had mentioned on offense before we get to the defense. I hope these people are okay. We're kind of breaking this down player by player, but that's what you and I do, AP.
No, absolutely. First and foremost, shout out to Brandon Ortega with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Brandon. We definitely appreciate it. Brandon's also one of our members on the channel. Thank you so much, B, for being and supporting all the content, man. You're absolutely goated for that. Brandon says, Buddy is the man, but if LSU beats Ole Miss, that's all I need. I hate them.
Well, we have a kind of a media bet and kind of just a little fun with it. And, there was so much scuttlebutt about Dae'Quan Wright and all of that. And so I did ask him a two-part question because, folks, let me tell you what. At this time of the year, with so many media people, and I think everybody in the media tries to be relatively, I guess the word I'm saying is just common sense. I mean, I've been waiting to ask questions. And so Cobbs grabbed 3 or 4. No problem with that, along with all the others. But by the time I got in there, I asked the coach, what was the biggest challenge with this rebuild? Well, I followed it up with the Twitter question. And I'm going to go back to what I said about maturation. This man has lived a lot of lives. He's made a lot of mistakes. 31 years old as the coach of the Oakland Raiders. Youngest ever. Working for Al Davis. That didn't end well. Tennessee, he leaves instead of saying, I'm going to miss the orange jersey, he says, I'm going to miss the yellow jersey. Tennessee fans get so pissed off, they post Layla, Lane Kiffin's wife, her cell phone number. That's how mad they were. We go on and on. FAU, he starts to of course, he did get fired by Nick Saban before a national championship game. We have all these stories, and then he goes over to Ole Miss and brings Ole Miss from the bottom of the totem pole up. And let's be honest, folks, they had a hell of a team last year. That was 6 years of growth, recruiting, developing. But he does something that I hadn't seen a coach do in a long time. He gets every ounce of his talent, because if you play a guy 5 or 10 snaps, he's going to practice the next day and say, yeah, I'm a part of this team. So I'm a big believer in chemistry. I'm a big believer in having the vibe in the locker room that is both chemistry as well as everybody being happy with the check they get. But lo and behold, I had to ask him about Twitter. Knox, his son, challenged him. Said, Dad, I don't think you can get off of Twitter. And he did. And here it was. I'm hearing all of this other stuff. And I asked him, do you miss it? Do you miss trolling people? Do you miss being a smart ass on Twitter? Because he's really good at it.
He's so good at it.
And so I thought, I didn't know what he was going to answer. He said, I don't know. It's a day-to-day business. It's a day-to-day thing. I wake up, thank the good Lord I'm here, and I go about my business. Start off with hot yoga and all the good-looking girls at 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time. Sweat. By the way, you coaches, if you're going to work for me, you ain't going to be a fatty. I'm going to get you in that yoga class. He's changing lives on and off the field. And here we go. He says, I don't know. Quite frankly, this is a test. This is a very big test for him, A, not to lose focus, and B, to stay off Twitter. Because can you imagine if he picked up the phone and said, I'm going to get back on, holy cow, would he be seeing and hearing and oh, my goodness. That all being said, if he does get back, and my little joke that we had with people is if he comes back to Twitter, I think it's going to be like 1 a.m. on the night, or actually the morning of September 20th.
Yes, I'm right there with you.
Connect the dots, folks. The game's at 6:45. He's got interviews to do, shower, all of that. They go, and they don't take the plane out of Oxford because the airport's too small, so they'll probably have to bus to Tupelo. But man, oh man, and oh, by the way, you don't want to hear my prediction.
Yes,
because I think LSU is going to be winning 24-19. And the conventional wisdom would be just to run the clock out. Signed, sealed, delivered, this game is yours. And what's he going to do? He's going to play action, throw over the top. Trey Green going to catch one. It's going to be 31-19 the final, and the Ole Miss people are going to be livid. And at 1 o'clock in the morning on September 20th, he may get on that Twitter and say, do you really miss me?
Or something like it's good to be back home. Just posting a picture of like a football ops.
But look, I have a wild imagination, but I also am very, very spiritual. And, I've tried to improve as a person. And, Dale Brown told me something. And, Bill, you might understand this. You may not. You probably won't. But when you're pointing a finger at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. And I just hope that the coach could stay off of Twitter, because here's the question I didn't have time to ask him. Do you think you coach differently with a different attitude, not reading all of that rat poison? Because he says, man, when somebody tells me I can't do something, I want to prove them wrong. But if he stays off of Twitter, I think he would be happier. But man, that itch, that propensity to troll, it's going to be a heck of a challenge.
It is. Let's switch over to the defense, Bud, man. What's got you excited outside of Blake Baker? The obvious answer, keeping Blake Baker was one of the biggest additions or non-subtractions that Lane was able to do when he made the transition over from Oxford to Baton Rouge. I'm so glad that Keith Carter made the haphazard decision in promoting Pete Golding to the full-time head coaching position to make that decision of keeping Blake Baker that much easier for Lane. What gets you most excited about this defense?
They got some dogs. They got some physicality. Folks, especially the old timers, you grew up seeing the goal line stand. You grew up knowing about the Chinese bandits. You grew up having a safety that would knock the living crap out of a guy on a slant right over the middle, and that guy hits him and stands over him and says, "Don't come back in my territory again." Well, I'm the dumbass the last 2 years that kept throwing up the number 40. I wanted to see if they could get 40 sacks. And you got a better chance of going to Albertsons 40 days in a row to get 40 sacks than LSU getting 40 sacks on the football field. Lo and behold, folks, you are going to love Prince. He is very imposing. He has all the moves. They're going to hold him. First thing I tell the referees before the kickoff against Ole Miss, watch holding on Princewell. Now, we're not going to have time to get into some of my conspiracy theories, but oh, by the way, if this thing goes south with the SEC and Lane Kiffin, and Kiffin gets his way, and the SEC looks bad, do not assume that they will be refereed in a fair manner.
Nope.
I have visions of a late flag coming in on a holding call after a 67-yard touchdown. Don't ask me about Patrick Peterson in Alabama. Don't ask me about all the things that we've seen, Auburn, everywhere else. So you're going to be fighting the referees too. You're the bad boys. You're the black hat. Don't expect a break. That's when you really knew 2019 was a year of destiny, because even though that dumbass Gary Danielson and even though that dumbass analyst in the booth, guess what? You remember Randy Moss's son with the tiptoe right in the corner? Thaddeus Moss. When they called that a catch, you knew, baby, get the bourbon, get the beer, get the water, whatever you shooting tonight, we're going to party. So back to the defense real quick. 88 and 99, it's never happened before. 2 freshman defensive tackles have never started in a game at LSU. I predicted it would happen, and now we've got a little bit of the, once again, fly in the ointment, because Dominic McKinley has made excellent progress. They wanted to motivate him. They threw him deep into the swimming pool, and he says, okay, this is my chance. But Deuce Gerald's is 99, and he is going to give you, and I don't want to put too much pressure, but he could be the next Booger. He could be the next great D lineman. I'm not ready to say Glenn Dorsey because everybody knows how much hardware he took home. But this guy, let me tell you what, you'd want him in your lawnmower because his motor never fails on you. Worst thing I have when I'm doing yard work, damn lawnmower don't work or the damn edger don't work. Don't get me started, AP.
Oh, no. No.
This motor on Deuce Gerald's, you're going to love him. Low center of gravity, works his ever-loving butt off. He's a great pass rusher, great first step. And then you got Richard Anderson, a mammoth of a man, and you are certainly more well-versed to talk about his assets. So you got Prince. I think the big X factor on the D-line is who's going to be that fourth complement. But back to the D tackles real quick, Malik Blockton and, of course, Steph Green. Steph Green was a former guy at Clemson. He played against LSU in their version of Death Valley. That's 90. Malik Blockton, a good football player at Auburn, 47. Dominic McClinley, 96. And then 88, 99. That's your 5 defensive tackles that I think will be in the rotation. The question is Jordan Ross, Lamar Brown, and the DN or the edge rusher opposite of course, Pritzwell. And then, but before I go on, I want you to tell everybody about Richard Anderson. And do you think, AP, watch it, because it's early to expect 2 freshman D tackles to start, and you got Clemson week 1, you got Ole Miss week 3, and you got A&M week 4. Are they going to rely on some experience, or are they going to throw those young freshman D tackles out in the deep end of the swimming pool and see how well they swim?
What better way for them to break in 2 true freshmen than to have a stadium that sold out 14 days before kickoff in an era where you are literally the center stage for attention? You're going to have 103 tailgate room only crazed rabid LSU Tiger fans in that stadium. Lane Kiffin starting his era, a defense that's aggressive. The home field is going to be behind you and a complementary offense on the other side of the field. Best way to break them in is going to be right then and there. It's going to, because early in that game, it's going to be all nerves for everybody. So everybody's going to be on the same playing field. But the thing that stands out to me for both of those young men, the technique. You got 2 18-year-olds. And now for Deuce Gerald's, he was overlooked because of his size. If he would have had the measurables that Jalen Brewster has, he would have been the number 1 overall player in this recruiting class between him and Lamar Brown. Now, Lamar Brown was the number 1 overall player because he's an athlete. He can line up on any position in the line of scrimmage and actually just go. But Richard Anderson's the number 1 defensive tackle, and he's the best defensive tackle I have seen play high school football, hands down. I know Jakeem Stewart just went to USC. I'm sorry. I said it then, and I'll say it again. Richard Anderson is better than him. Richard Anderson feels like another second coming of Glenn Dorsey. Deuce Gerald's is what Aaron Donald was coming out of high school. You're putting those 2 together. The technique that these 2 young men can flash, the ability to make plays, and they're going up against veteran interior offensive linemen. We're not talking about them going up against Carius Kern. We're not talking about them going up against a Garrett Dellinger, right? Like, they're going up against Braylon Moore, Bo Bordelon, and Alu Ball. Like, those are 3 really good grown men. And they are winning. I don't know if you noticed, buddy, but the last time we were in football ops, they had a screen over the trophy room. And they had the pass rush win rate rankings. And you know who was number 1 and number 2?
thought I took a picture, but I didn't retain it. Was it Dominic McKinley and somebody else?
Dominic McKinley was number 1. Number 2 was Deuce Gerald's. And number 4 was Richard Anderson.
Yeah.
So they're proving that they're the best players in the positions. They're proving it. So you got to play them. And I think you start those two, if not in game 1, but at some point this season, those two will be starting in the interior really soon. If they're not starting play 1, I promise you drive 1, they're going to be side by side. And that defensive line is set for the next 3 to 4 years easily. Because those two are just that special. And that's how you win championships, is at the line of scrimmage. You get those two kids in there, you get them developed, and that's another reason why you bring back Coach O. You let him have the impact that he's having with those guys. Oh, my God. That sets up the entire defense. It frees up your linebacker core. Weeks just got number 7. Tell me what your thoughts on this linebacker core.
Well, look, I want to make sure, because I'm not seeing the chat. So look, I don't want to bogart all these questions and all. So if we have more questions,
we're gonna get to them.
For those of you that don't know, and maybe you finally figured it out, but AP is paying me by the word, so that's why I'm talking so much. Anyway,
I'm gonna get to that point where I can do that, buddy. I'm just not there yet.
Well, anyway, I think it is a great compliment. And look, in the old days, you wanted a thumper. That guy, 6'1", 6'2", about 235, and you run the ball right up the A-gap, and he thumps the living crap out of you. I gave this on one of the practice reports. Any of you kids out there listening, I asked Nick Saban this about years ago. Jack Hunt was a wide receiver. Corey Webster was a wide receiver. They both got moved to defense. Jack was a safety. Corey was a great corner, had a great career in the pros. But Jack Hunt, the first year he was a safety, would come up to make the tackle, and he'd always have people run over him and forward and fall backwards. So I asked Coach Saban, why is that? Because the last year, Jack would come in, support the run, and then he would stop momentum and push him back. And he talked about using those thighs and that legs. You use those legs, low pad level. Everybody knows the formation of what you want to do on tackling, but use those darn legs, explode and push them back. And this is going to be great to see that LSU with those 2 D tackles, can they not give up first downs? We talk about what we've seen just about, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but just about every time you'd see a team going 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, you knew the play was coming, and they couldn't stop the momentum on the A-gap, and so they fall forward and pick up the first down. Now you got 2 guys, they're not thumpers, but man, they can run. They learn about angles. Folks, you've got to take the right angle when you are an inside linebacker. And Witt has gotten better. And TJ Daugherty, both of them have had years where they had over 100 tackles. Both of them are very, very complimentary. So you got 6 and 7 next to each other. Don't sleep on Devon Keys, who led LSU in tackles with 100 and something last year. He's number 42. And there's a couple of other guys, Tylen Singleton, Keelan Moses, and others that are backups there. Then you get in the star position with Deshaun Spears, number 10, taking over for Perkins. And so I think linebackers is going to be. By the way, I've been watching Zach Weeks. I think Zach Weeks is going to be a great football player at LSU. I don't know how much PT he'll get this year because 7 and 6 is going to be hard to take off the field. But linebacker is an area where LSU will flourish, even though they're losing these 2 guys. This will be it for TJ Daugherty and Whit Weeks. But man. It's exciting, and you got to stop that short yardage play right inside the A gap. And so, real quick, wrapping on the secondary, I think Mike and I and you have said this, and look, folks, You don't want an injury at corner.
No.
Because DJ Pickett, and I asked him the other day when we had it, he's weighing 194. PJ Woodland, you don't want to see PJ Woodland and introduce yourself and your girlfriend to PJ Woodland because his hands are everywhere. Okay? He's pushing, he's holding, he's shoving. He is a baller. He's undersized. But, short people, and I can attest to this, we grow up spicy. We don't want the lack of height to be a detriment to achieve the goals that you want athletically. But there are some problems. When I'm shopping at Rouse's and it's way up on the top shelf, I can't get there because my arms are too short. Well, the same thing with P.J. Woodland, but yes, guess what? He doesn't play like it. Now, he's going to get 4 or 5 pass interference calls against him for the year, but he's also going to get some INTs. You know who had the first sack of the year last year?
Was that one DJ Pickett or P.J. Woodland? I think it was P.J. Woodland.
A delayed corner blitz with P.J. Woodland.
Yes.
But here's the other problem, and you know this, AP. When you have a 325-pound guard or tackle pulling, they are looking for a cornerback that they can maul into the ground. So, why? Because you got to have those guys come up and support the wrong run along with playing press man-to-man. And I think DJ Pickett and P.J. Woodland are going to be smart enough to get real low. But number 8, Jakeem Jackson's got to give some PT. Havon Finney's going to play. Michael Turner, the second or third, I forget which one it is. He's going to play, but you don't have a Mansour Delane that can shut down half the side of the field one-on-one, and you don't have the big physical corner. Now, I did identify Des Ellis, who's number 27, 6'2", 190. He was not an early enrollee, so he's catching up. But corner is where you cannot afford an injury. But I will tell you this. This is a stat that I was shocked at. AP, I'll ask you the question before I give it. What do you think the number of points that Ole Miss has given up in the last 2 years with their defense?
On average, it's over 20. Because 2024 they were the number 2 ranked defense nationally. Last year they were ranked 42 in total defense. Scoring defense, I just did a video breaking this down. I can't remember what it was last year, but it was really high.
The last 2 years, they have averaged given up 17.5 points. 14 point something in 24, and I think it was right around 21 points last year.
I thought it was a little bit higher than that last year. I'm sorry about that then.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the stats. It's about 17.5 the last 2 years, which is pretty darn gaudy. Okay. You don't think of Lane Kiffin having a great defense, but I'm going to tell you that this defense, I think, AP, is going to get after people. You always want a bunch of hats around the ball. There is a detriment here, folks. Lane Kiffin is smart enough. He's not going to beat his team up. You're not going to have Les Miles or any of these other guys that sometimes lose their legs. Poor Les. Let Donnie Alexander, a New Orleans backup linebacker, 2 weeks before the game in Wisconsin, Les might have got a hold of some whiskey. They're playing whiskey. And he lets Donnie Alexander put a helmet on Leonard Fournette's lower foot and ankle, and he was gimpy the whole year. So not scrimmaging and not hitting has benefits with the health of your team, but we're going to find out how well they tackle in space, how physical they are, and if you got a bunch of hats around the ball. And I'm hoping, because none of us really know, but I'm hoping this defense is going to be one of the big surprises of this team, AP.
No, I think this defense is what's going to carry this team early and let this offense get loose. I think this offense is going to be able to complement the defense And the reason why we're going to be able to score over 30 points early in the season is because the defense is going to set the offense up in more advantageous field positions. This defense, I think, will be the best defense that Lane Kiffin has played with since 2024. Blake Baker, every year he's been a defensive coordinator, ranks up his defenses by 5 to 10 ranks. And we've seen that steady improvement. I mean, when he came in, the defense was ranked 100 and something. They jumped to 67th in his first year. They jumped from 67 and topped into the top 30, with finishing between 25 and 27 last year. It's not unreasonable to assume that this defense should not finish within the top 15, top 10. And I really believe that they can be a top 10 defense if we stay healthy. That's the caveat. That's the big if we stay healthy. We got 2 $4.99 super chats that came in. One from Brandon. Shout out to you, Brandon. Brandon says, I can't wait till Sam Levis starts showing everyone he is actually the best quarterback in the league in the SEC. I can't wait to see it either, Brandon. Cannot wait. And then Stephen Young says, we're sending in this super chat to help AP pay Buddy for the words. So I definitely appreciate that, Stephen Young. Thank you so much. Now, I do have a question since we're talking about the defense, Buddy. Tiger Mark, I believe, was the one who asked this question. What is your thoughts about Tamarcus Cooley or Jace Thomas starting over Tamarcus Cooley?
What do they say about iron?
Sharpens iron.
Listen, it's been one of the big stories. Tamarcus Cooley was a guy, he got banged up, played pretty good last year, opposite of A.J. Halsey. And of course, the big story is that Jace Thomas. Now, a little trivia for you. The last guy to block a punt for LSU was Jace Thomas. Did it against Texas A&M, got a bad break. Instead of recovering it in the end zone, the ball went out of the end zone. LSU only got 2 points out of it. And certainly that did not deter Texas A&M from putting that butt whipping on LSU. But you got to thank you Aggie fans, because that celebration pissed off enough money people the way he said, look, I don't care what it costs. We got to get rid of BK. Let him go play golf on his own time. Yeah, let's be honest. Woody really screwed up. Should have fired him with cause, but he didn't document everything that he could have. And so because of that, LSU's having to pay the 50-something million. And no disrespect to BK, because I appreciated him. I had respect for him. But there were some things that he did that were just ridiculous. But when you give a 60-something-year-old man 10 years and $10 million a year, it's called law of diminishing returns. He doesn't wake up fired up to go to work as I guess AP and I are. But hey, I want to make one other tidbit, and I apologize for long-winded, but this is something that we got to bring in with the defense. And the $64 million question that everybody has is that Lane Kiffin, Chris Kiffin, everybody with Ole Miss certainly knows about running pass option with the quarterback. Have they been burning the night oil, going on it, X's and O's, personnel? Is LSU going to do an appreciably better job of stopping that run pass option? And AP, every coach I talk to says, and I'm a big believer, especially in the Ole Miss game, you knock the living you-know-what out of that quarterback. I want to see Trinidad Chambliss punished, but you better damn well have somebody ready for the pitch, because if you don't have somebody with the pitch, then Kewan Lacey takes it to the house. So my question to you, Chris Kiffin comes in, you know he's going to help them, but from a schematic point, because you're a coach, what do they need to do, X's and O's wise, to stop the run pass option much better? Look, if Jalen Milroe played LSU every Saturday night, he'd be the richest man in the world.
Well, this is true. He would have been a first overall pick. So, schematically, to stop a running quarterback, especially a mobile running quarterback, a quarterback that drops back to that's going to escape through running lanes, you need a pass rush. LSU has not had a consistent pass rush since 2019. You haven't had a guy get over 10 sacks in the season since, Arden Key. It's been that long. So you need a pass rush up front. It's hard to defend a mobile quarterback or a running quarterback when your defense has to drop back in zone coverage and he can choose which lane he takes to run through. And your linebackers are already dropping back 7 yards from their 5-yard starting point. So they're dropping back 7 yards in space, and as he's heading towards them, they're going backwards. And there's no defensive lineman there to impede his forward momentum. So they can't recover fast enough. And it just takes 1 foot in the dirt. And next thing you know, he done turned that 5-yard run into a 12-yard run. That 12-yard run can extend to another 15-yard run. And next thing you know, everybody's looking around. Well, how come Blake Baker can't stop these guys? Well, you don't have a pass rush. You're not stopping a mobile. Look at what Miami was able to do to Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed was the same player he was against LSU. LSU just didn't have a pass rush. You had Reuben Bain Jr. and Akeem Massador off the edge, setting the edge and getting back and punishing Marcel Reed. Like you say, LSU will. I truly believe LSU is going to punish Trinidad Chambliss. You pretty much held them in check offensively as far as scoring was concerned. Now, he threw for over 300 yards, but you're going to get a better pass rush. You're going to contain that running game. He's not going to get off as much as he did last year, and that's why I think that game, specifically Ole Miss, will be a blowout. And I also feel like the Marcel Reed game, the Texas A&M game, LSU is going to have a handle on that too. The defense is going to be better because you have much more athletic playmakers on the defensive line of scrimmage. You're not taking a former defensive end from Wisconsin and trying to move him inside to play your 3-tech defensive tackle. You're not taking an undersized Bernard Gooden from UCF and hoping he can produce on the SEC level. You have SEC defensive linemen, young and old, experienced and non-experienced. And those guys are going to have an impact. If Jacobian Guillory was the best defensive tackle that we had last year, well, now you got 5 of him. And he was pretty solid. You just only had him, and that was the problem. And now you got the edge rushers on the outside to complement that interior styming that's taking place between the guard, center, and guard. And that's what's going to bring balance to the defensive front and definitely help against that running attack from the quarterbacks.
Hey, you mentioned that Texas A&M Miami game. What was that final, AP? I know A&M scored 3. What was the final in that game?
I think it was like 10-3 or 7 or 14. It was low scoring.
Did you hear what actually happened in the stadium?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
So, about the wind?
No, what happened is that it was a hot night.
Yeah,
they were very upset. They ran out of ice. And the Texas A&M senior that had the recipe for ice was so bad, he left early. And so they didn't have any ice the last 15 minutes of the game. Hey, I make that joke about A&M, but I will tell you a reality. LSU played Texas A&M on an afternoon game. I think it was a 2:30 kickoff, one of the hottest games. And this is no BS, folks. They literally freaking ran out of ice. And so I make the joke, though, don't go to the A&M unless you bring your own ice chest, because sometimes the seniors that have the recipe for ice graduate and they come back.
That's very deserving of Texas A&M and all the cultish vibes that they give off in that community over there. That's not shocking at all. Buddy, I've kept you for almost 2 hours, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bud, man. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it, and if we can spare one more minute, I've got tidbits on special teams.
Let's do it, because and I was just about to say that we got a couple more questions here.
Well, let's go. And listen, who says men can't stay long? Men can't last long? Let's go.
Let's go, but man. All right. So someone did ask, and I think that was Tiger Mark again. It was Anthony that asked about Chase, Jace Thomas starting over Tamarcus Cooley. But Tiger Mark asked who will be our returners for special teams.
Well, by the way, I think both Jace Thomas and Tamarcus Cooley are going to play. But right now, I do think that it looks like Jace Thomas might get 60-40 on the reps. Here we go. Scott Starzik threw a little kink into Kiffin's fourth down. Everybody knows the stat, 63 and 96 the last 3 years. That's 66% of the time. The last 3 years, Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin have converted 2 of 3 fourth down conversions. When you're converting 66% of the time, that's why you go for it. So I will predict at least 2 or 3 times on the night of September 5th, unless the game is out of control and they don't need to, he will go for it on fourth down. But here's what happened Saturday, folks. Scott Starzik was 5 for 5 on field goals, a couple of them past 50. So now the question is, do you coach differently at LSU versus Ole Miss? Ole Miss, underdog, you can have your onions and I guess a case of elephantitis, if you know what that means, and you can take chances. But now when you have a field goal guy like this, he was 14 of 18 at Arkansas. He was 2 of 3 from 50 last year. Lo and behold, the question for Kiffin and you in the stands, is he going to kick a field goal? Is he going to go for it on fourth down? So Starzik had a great day. I'm assuming he will be the kickoff guy, but we don't know. We didn't see any of that. Special teams, Grant Chatwick has been punting the living heck out of the ball. He's a preseason All-SEC first team. I don't remember the last time LSU had a preseason first All-SEC team punter, but he's been fantastic. Silas Hall is the great snapper. He's been fantastic. Started as a true freshman and did not ever give up the job. 99, the kid that came over from Florida could be the holder. They often put the punter as a holder, but don't be shocked if 99 is holding instead of Grant Chatwick. And look, we saw this a little bit. I took notes in the spring and again in the fall. A punt return could be Trey Wilson, could be Jace Brown, could be Winnie Watkins, could be Jamari Mack. They got a bunch of skill guys, and my notes tell me Harlan Berry and others on kickoff. A question I've never asked a coach, and since we're getting so long-winded, I'll ask you, since you coach and have been around the game for so long, how do you come up with your 2 gunners? And do you have the same 2 gunners who are on defense versus the same 2 gunners on offense? Because when you're protecting your guy, you want him to catch the football, but the last thing you want to see, AP, is a punt return with laundry on the field. But those 2 gunners, how do you think coaches come up with gunners running down to make tackles versus gunners running down to make blocks?
So the gunners that are running down to make tackles, and Kiffin kind of alluded to it. When I asked him the question about special teams last week or week before last, it's just about that guy who's fast enough off the line and can beat the press off the line of scrimmage. So typically that's why you see receivers most of the time being the ones that are gunners, because they're comfortable enough playing against a press man corner. And then your gunner on the opposite side is typically a corner, because they're usually better at running backwards to try to go and set up for a block anyway. So you are looking for that guy that's going to be the most physical at the point of attack, but most explosive coming off the line of scrimmage. And the same is being said for your punt return gunner too, for your gunner defense. Who's that guy? Who's that corner that's not the best at covering, but I know he's going to put hands on somebody at the line of scrimmage and then still be able to get out of his break and turn those hips and get his head around to locate where the returner is and set up the wall for him. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Well, Chris Hilton ended up being a pretty darn good special teams player last year, because unfortunately, as I said earlier, him and Aaron Anderson didn't get in the end zone, and it's a shame. Look, when you can't make your mark with your catches and all the other things, You got to put a little more emphasis on special teams. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that you cannot predict before the first game. How are you going to tackle? How are you going to tackle in space? How quickly will these guys get acclimated to running the offense? It's still going to be, even though they've done it for the last 7-8 months, you're going to be doing it in front of 100,000 people. They're going to have some anxiety. They're going to have some breathing. But the special teams, man, coming over Joe Houston, I just feel like it's going to be a lot better than, let's just say, what Brian Polian put out on the field 4 years ago. You were supposed to laugh at that, AP. That's a joke.
No, look, I cannot laugh at Brian Polian. The mention of his name turns my stomach every time. I'm so just the thought of going back to how I felt emotionally watching us just give up on special teams for an entire 2 years, where the best punt return we had was call for a fair catch. Absolutely disgusting. From an LSU team, a school that's known for special teams, for elite returners, for playmakers, for
some of the greatest, man.
Yes. So no, I don't laugh at anything. Don't laugh at anything surrounding Brian Polian. He is not a joke. He's a scar on our record that should have never happened. He's a stain on our nice, pristine white jersey. And hopefully we can wash that sin away this year. I got 3 really good questions for you.
Right.
Chance Babin asked, what was your biggest, what could have been? And he lists a couple. He says,
all right,
Bo Ryan doesn't die in a plane crash. LSU hires Spurrier instead of Archer, or also Cecil Collins, Perilou, or Honey Badger don't get dismissed.
Holy cow, Chase! Those are really tough questions.
Yeah.
I was not in the media when we saw the unfortunate passing of Bo Ryan in a plane crash. Jerry Stovall, of course, had to take over, and we know how that ended. Honey Badger, man, what a great story. To learn, and Patrick Peterson and his dad took him under the wing. But what a great story of learning from your mistakes. Cecil Collins could have been one of the greatest running backs ever. I still can't believe on a 3rd and 2, I think Jerry D threw the ball instead of giving it to him in that Auburn game where they came back and won. That was crazy. What else did we have?
And Ryan Perilou and LSU hiring Spurrier instead of Archer.
Oh, okay. Ryan Perilou. Once again, I'm in Atlanta at the SEC championship game, and Perilou had a great game, and there was Les Miles at midfield talking to him, and you got to feel like Matt Flynn, remember, busted up the wrist or thumb, and he couldn't go, and Perilou came in, was MVP or whatever, and Les is holding him going like, hey, man, you realize if you get your act together, you could do this every week. And, of course, he didn't. And then it's just, listen, it's those woulda, coulda, shoulda. We could always spend up time thinking about that. But as people heard me dominate with words today, I apologize. But, I get I love what I do. I want all of you, whether I'm preaching or not, to remember 2 things. Always have a relationship with the Lord. Yeah. I say it every day, more than once. Jesus, I trust in you. If you got a problem, or if you're doing great, thank you. Talk to him. You will never regret it. And secondly, be a giver, not a taker. You won't believe how your belly, your heart, your soul will feel. Be a giver. Do something for somebody tomorrow. Out of character, you'll be unbelievably happy you did that. Enough for the preaching.
But man, I got 2 more for you before you roll out.
Okay. Look, I'm sleeping single in the double bed. You think any wife would listen to this chatterbox for all this time?
Oh man, Chance Babin ask Buddy, how is Coach Brown doing? I didn't see any coverage, or maybe he meant Coach O and got auto corrected.
I did have Coach Brown on the show probably a couple months ago. He's got the same birthday as Nick Saban, October 31st, Halloween. Unbelievably blessed. He had a miracle. They thought he was really in bad shape, and all the analysts and the tape and the biopsies and everything said it was bad, and miraculously it went away. I did have him on the air. I apologize. I don't know if he's going to be 90 or 91 this October 31st, but it's one of those. And I still hold him high regard because his motivational minute got me started. But, let's be honest. He's here because the Lord wants him to be here.
Yeah.
So just pray for him. And he's meant a lot to a lot of people. That's another guy that has impacted people. And I finish with all of you just remembering the late Skip Bertman. Oh, my goodness. How incredibly spoiled we have been. Coach Kelly, you're right.
You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
Now, I have that on my soundboard.
You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
I just played that. I had to because he's right, especially when it comes to Skip Bertman. We are spoiled.
How spoiled have we been, AP? I covered Dale Brown. I covered Nick Saban. I covered Skip Bertman, Kim Mulkey. There are more and more, but we truly have been blessed with some of the greatest. And you know what? It's not just about the academics, the sports and stuff. It's about the lessons of life. And that's why you and I are so tight, because even though I'm more long-winded, you could have gone on just like I have. And you do a fantastic job on my show numerous times. And so I apologize for going so long. I heard you and Shay, and so I wanted to go just one more minute than you and Shay. That was a fantastic show. But God bless you and God bless everybody out there.
Man, thank you, buddy. And before you go, tell us right now what's your record that you have LSU going this season, and what teams you think they lose to if you don't have them going undefeated.
I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and I'm gonna pick 10-2.
Let's go. 10-2. Who are the two teams you think LSU falls to?
That is what, at first I was worried about Ole Miss, and then I'm thinking, like, are you kidding me? The judge in Mississippi lets Trinidad Chambliss play, and now the Tennessee guy can't play, and now all of this scuttlebutt, Lane is going to pour kerosene on them rebels. Now, Ole Miss is going to take a hit, folks, because let me tell you what, if you don't think Charlie Weiss and McDonald and Kevin Smith and all those guys that were lent to Ole Miss on the offensive side, you don't think they're going to take a hit there. But I don't have it per se. I haven't worked out every game, but they're probably going to lose a game that they're favored in. You got a couple of schedule problems that you have. Mm-hmm. You play in Clemson, and I think they'll dominate Clemson. I do. I've talked to some people. I think Clemson's slow and small, and I think LSU is decisive. Louisiana Tech will be a fun game to wear the different uniforms like they normally do. But you've got Ole Miss, and then you've got A&M. That is a treacherous two-game stretch. And then, of course, the back end, hosting Bama, hosting Texas, and then at Tennessee. By the way, in case you missed it, Philip Fulmer called up Josh Heupel and said, I think you need to get a deal with French's Mustard. So, you're always worried about Coach Mustard, man. And look, he was being facetious about bringing mustard in the golf balls. But Tennessee is a dangerous part in the schedule simply because you don't know if LSU's still healthy. And the physical part of the season, that's tough. Alabama, you know how physical that game is. Texas, you know how physical that game is. And then you got to go to Rocky Top. So I don't have it broken down per se each game, but my gut feeling is 10-2, LSU in the playoffs. But let me tell you this, folks, in closing. If they go 9-3 and don't get into playoffs, Lane Kiffin is going to be screaming Bloody Mary because they have not put the strength of schedule in the CFP formula. In case you missed it, everybody involved with the CFP voted today that they don't like it if you have pro players on the team. And so I hope this controversy goes by the wayside real quick because I'm ready to concentrate about football. But AP, I appreciate your friendship. And listen, folks, I really believe this with all my heart. It is going to be some incredibly exciting and passionate season. And as always, we hope you Tiger fans do it up the right way. Make it the loudest you've ever heard Tiger Stadium 9 nights from tonight. Joe Burrow will never see another one. I want to see Tiger Stadium in its heyday where you can't hear the person next to you because it's that loud.
Yes. Make it to where you can't even hear yourself think. That's where I want Tiger back. I want Tiger Stadium to be back to its heyday, baby. Let's go, buddy. But man, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for blessing us with your time tonight. I'm telling you right now, this has been my favorite stream I've ever done. And you are such a wonderful, amazing friend and mentor, and I cannot thank you enough. But man,
you must have given your wife my cell phone number because she just texted me and she said, I don't know what you've done, but I've never seen AP last this long.
Get off my phone, buddy. I love you, bud, man. You're the man, bro. Go ahead and get you some rest, man. I'll definitely call you in the morning.
All right, baby. Enjoyed it. And hey, folks, don't take yourself too serious. No. I just had 3 funerals in 7 days. Live every day like it's the last one. Be nice. Be a giver. And have a relationship with the Lord. You'll never regret.
And buddy, let everybody know where they can catch your show at.
Oh man, that's no big deal. 1 to 3 Pelican Sports app. If you want a link, AP's got the link. You can watch TV. And of course, my partner, who does not pay me by the word, Mike Scarborough, every Wednesday night, LSU Tigers on Tiger Bait. But look, man, good stuff. I'm sorry we went so long, but, when you open up a can of worms with me, sometimes it takes a couple hours to finish up. So I hope we gave a good review. And AP, I can't tell people enough about the respect that I have, even though we're very early in our relationship with the media. Nothing but great respect for you, the job you do, and the way you carry yourself.
Thank you, buddy. All compliments, man. I definitely appreciate it. Like I tell you all the time, you set the standard and I'm chasing after it. And I want to make sure I every time I step in front of a microphone or in front of a camera, it's something that you're proud of. So thank you so much for that. I really mean it.
Hey, final comment. I'll tell you this, folks. I got a special gift for Lane Kiffin next Thursday at the presser. You're going to see it, and you are going to absolutely love it. It will be our media gift to Coach Kiffin, and I think he's going to enjoy it. AP, I'll give you a hint on it. It's going to be special.
I can't wait to see it. Can I chip in with it so we can present it together?
Look, it's everybody in the media. We've given him because the access that we've gotten has totally exceeded everybody's expectations. Yes. And that's why I'm so fired up. And that's why this is a business that we all love covering. It is a great time to be a Tiger fan as well as a Tiger member of the media. And yes, we got to be objective. But I got a feeling it could be some special Saturdays this year, AP.
At least. Yes. Thank you, buddy. Thank you again. Go get you some rest, man. Like I said, I'm going to be on your phone first thing in the morning. Love you, bud.
Okay, man.
Love you, bud, man.
Enjoyed it. Thank you, bud.
Later. What more can I say? What more can I say? All right. Like, Well, y'all understand like why I love Budman so much. Like I'm telling you, that's just a normal phone call between he and I. Seriously, an amazing friend, an amazing friend. And guess what? We're not done because we still have the call-in portion of the show. So, about to drop the link right now into the chat, and y'all, if y'all want to tap in right quick, y'all can hit the link because I'm gonna fulfill my commitment to y'all too. And Cam says time to eat dinner. Exactly. How do you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. Tiger Mark says, AP, have you heard anything about the Greg Sankey lawsuit? The only thing I've heard is that Dallas, a judge in Dallas has ruled that the SEC cannot punish anyone for playing these players. So we'll see. That's why it's part of the reason why we talked about it earlier on in the show. Tiger Mark, you weren't in here. Is yes, he is. I actually made that comment in a private chat. He is the first white number 7. That's why the Honky Badger name is absolutely a great name. But it's part of the reason why the hearing got pushed back from Monday to Thursday because they're joining in on that. So yeah. And said I think it's a case of mess around and find out for sure. Jadis said I just had a 2.5 thick smoked pork chop for dinner and it didn't save me any. American Patriot said you just had the goat on. First of all, Jay Addison, let me drop a bomb for you, man, because like you are showing out this week, brother. You have gifted a membership every single show you have shown up for, and I cannot thank you enough for doing so. It has been absolutely beautiful to see the community grow because of you. Thank you so much for introducing the new members to the content. Thank you so much. And yeah, Pila, you say first modern 7. I'm thinking about since Burt Jones, right? Like Burt Jones was the last white number 7 that we had, but the first one to be selected in this legacy of number 7. So everything that's happened since Pat Pete passed it down to Tyron, yeah, like that's what we're talking about. Thank you so much, Jay Addison. I absolutely appreciate it, man. Evan has tapped in. What's up, Evan? Thank you for being here, man.
AP? What's up?
Nothing much, brother. Just living the life on this here good Thursday night as we are less than 8 days away from playing football in Tiger Stadium, man.
I cannot wait. I am in the neck of the woods of South Carolina.
Turn me up, Evan. Turn me up, man.
and buddy, these Clemson fans are everywhere.
Everywhere. Tell them to get ready. We came to South Carolina. We took their house and showed them that baby Death Valley didn't mean it, and now we're about to baptize them in the real Death Valley. We beat them for a natty. We went into their traps, took over their trap, and now we're about to drag them into the deep water and drown them in Death Valley.
You dare Skippy, AP. Hey,
that's what I'm talking about, man.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, you know what? I have stories about Clemson.
Yeah,
I got stories about Clemson. I actually caught a pass from Chad Kelly.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
And I actually bet Deborah a walk on. So.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, Dabo's a nice guy. He's a real nice guy.
Like it.
He's a likable guy. I like him. But Dabo, he just he does not understand modern college football. No.
No. Cameron says that he's a whiny Sweeney. He is, like the game is definitely passed up Dabo, Evan. I don't think he's fit for this era of football now, and it's part of the reason why Clemson's taking a step back. And I think Chris Vizina is going to learn real quick what it means to be a starting quarterback and have to play against this LSU Fighting Tiger defense, man. How do you feel about that?
He don't have Taj Border, Deshaun, or DeAndre Hopkins to out him in this one.
Right, absolutely. They can't save him.
I can't stand that game. That gave me PTSD thinking about it.
Evan, you got to tell me this. You got to tell me this before you go, because we got Steven Young that just jumped in. Evan, what's your prediction for Clemson? What's your prediction for September 5th?
Oh, it's a skull dragon.
Skull. Well, give me a score. Give me a score, brother.
38-10.
Let's go. Turn me up, Evan. Y'all heard it here first. Evan's got the Tigers winning 38-10. That's not even close. That's not even close, fam. They're going to get that 10 points on the fluke. That's what I'm talking about, Evan. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Evan, thank you so much for joining in. Don't you ever hesitate. Don't you ever hesitate to hit that link and join us for the call-in show, all right? I'm looking forward to seeing you for the post game next Saturday, all right?
Love you, AP.
Love you too, Evan, man. That's our guy, man. I got Evan. Thank you for turning it up. Steven Young is in here. What's going on, bud? How you feeling tonight, man?
You're muted, AP. I can't hear you.
I'm muted. Y'all hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
I cannot hear you.
Nick can hear me.
Hold on.
Let's check that audio setting right quick. Chat says I'm good. Just waiting on
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
All right, I'm gonna take you down and let you come back in. All
hey,
right?
Let me go back out. If you can hear me, I'm gonna go back out and I'll come back in. Give me a second.
Right. Tiger Mark, what's going on, man? I see you with the Joe Burrow 9. You ought to change your avatar to represent a number for every day for the rest of the countdown.
What's going on, man?
No, man. How we feeling tonight?
Much love to everybody in the chat from yours truly, Tiger Mark. I love all you guys. Each and every one of you. Not a single person in this chat is not appreciated by Tiger Mark. You know. Listen, make a little joke, man. I'm feeling pretty good tonight. You know, I had the prostate checked in. They didn't find any lumps, so they're waiting for the blood work to come back, just waiting for the other results. But listen, when they checked me the first time for the prostate and double back around and the nurse called me back in the room again. I'm like, oh no. You've just done this the first time, so no, you're not doing this twice to me. Not in one day. It's too much, you know. I'm a tiger, not a damn kitten.
That's
what I mean.
That's what Nick just typed in the chat. They checking you. They checked your butt and they trying to go back in for seconds.
Yeah, they trying twice.
That, man.
Yeah, once, twice, no, three. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But listen, we are 9 days away, man, from football. Our Tigers in Tiger Stadium. I am so hyped. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Lane and this Tiger team just come out, dominate Clemson, and silence the critics. And you know, I believe, AP and everybody in the chat, I really sort of believe after the Clemson game, Lane Kiffin will have a lot of people on alert after game one. A lot of the haters and the doubters, I want to know what they're going to say after we dominate Clemson in the real Death Valley. And I think the score is going to be 38-17. I think they get a late touchdown or maybe the second stringers or whatever like that. Hopefully not. But anyway, it's going to be a dominant performance, and I cannot wait. Football is here, and if you're not excited, something has to be wrong with you. You know? Think about that.
Absolutely. We here, baby. We got college games on Saturday. I almost slipped up and said tomorrow.
You had college games on tonight, AP. There wasn't no big school. Southeastern played tonight.
Southeastern played. Nichols played. Mississippi Valley.
State played Mississippi Valley tonight. Yeah, which was a blowout. Yeah, but football is here. You know. So again, I'm excited. lofty expectations, I think, on LSU, and I think they're gonna come through. Sam Levitt, I think when it's all said and done and the dust settles, if this offensive line plays up to par, I think you'll have Sam Levitt in New York as a Heisman Trophy finalist. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's definitely
Oh,
possible.
Tiger Mark, I've been saying Sam Levitt was going to New York since January. You late.
Think so?
You late, my brother. His foot wasn't even healed. And I was saying him, Lane, New York.
Right,
Like him, Lane, and LSU equal New York. Yes.
right. Listen, this chat, again, I love everybody in this chat. I love you, what you do. Love your wife. You love you, everybody, man. But
Thank you, Tiger
it's
Mark.
it's it's when it's all said and done, it's all about loving somebody.
Yes.
And the reason why I want Lane to succeed so badly, we all should know how to learn and forgive people for their mistakes.
Yep.
Whatever Lane has done, he's done in the past. You don't know what Lane heart or mind feels up to date. He could be a changed person. Only God knows that. But at the end of the day, it's all about loving somebody. That's why I want him to succeed so bad because of so much hate they have toward this man. It's unbelievable. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So if you
But
if you if you cannot root for him, something has to be wrong. You have to root for him, not against him. If you have any kind of guard in you, everybody make mistakes, man. Go ahead.
but you know why they hate Lane so much? Because they know just how damn good he is.
Right.
They
Right.
hated Saban at Alabama too. They hate Kirby at Georgia. They're starting to hate Signetti at Indiana. They can't stand Ryan Day at Ohio State. They hate the winners until they
Right.
start losing. See,
Right.
Saban never started losing, right? Kirby hasn't. Everybody expected Kirby to just take this Nick Saban type of run. No, that's what made Nick Saban special.
Right.
Is that nobody can just step in and do that.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm not about to sit up here and say Lane Kiffin's gonna go on this Nick Saban type of era. But
Right.
what I can say is I fully expect him if he's here more than 5 years to hold
Right.
up that trophy more than two times.
Right. So listen to everybody in the chat. Jay Addison, Chance, Unk. I see all you guys. Listen, what do y'all think? Do y'all think 10-2 is reasonable? And again, I believe a 9-3 team out of the SEC will make the playoffs due to the fact of the conference scheduling. Beating up on each other, you're going to have a 9-3 team out of the SEC make the playoffs. I would rather LSU go 10-2, but who knows? But
That's
I'm
not
saying
happening.
10-2.
The
But what about
committee,
nine?
I don't trust that committee at all.
You don't trust them?
Hell no. I don't trust that
Oh,
at all. And if we're leaving things in the hands of the committee, you're in a bad position. Go win.
right, right. You have a final score for next Saturday?
Yeah.
What
Give
is
me 42 to 10.
42-10? Okay,
I'm
so
I'm gonna give them some grace. I'm gonna give them some grace. I'm gonna give them some grace. 41 to 10. We're gonna
right.
field goals.
Uh,
Two.
Okay,
Two
so
field.
what
Stars are gonna put two over the bar.
what do you think about the combined rushing yards tonight as a team? I mean, not tonight, but Saturday. Combined rushing yards as a unit Saturday night. I
Oh, you're gonna
say,
rush for over 200 yards.
yeah, I
Easily.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm saying like 225 rushing yards,
Yeah.
and that's why I say I believe Dylan Jones will have 102 of those, and I think Dylan Jones will catch some passes out of the backfield because I think Clemson will try to blitz a little bit after they see Levitt being able to sit in that pocket and deliver some passes. They're gonna have to try to bring some pressure to him.
I
So
wouldn't be surprised if LSU has a 600 yardage offensive type of night
okay,
where we
okay,
could rush for over just about close to 250 and throw for almost another 350. I wouldn't
okay.
be surprised.
AP, you and all the guys in the chat. Week 1, if y'all see any upsets brewing, who do y'all seeing it be? My pick, and not because I hate them, but I really believe Brom and Louisville and Isaac Brown and those guys over at Louisville can upset Ole Miss. That's
I'm
my
not gonna lie.
week
I
one
really
upset.
like Louisville. I really like Louisville. I think Louisville is gonna end up being that. That SMU team that found their way into the playoff in the ACC 2 years ago. I think that. I think Louisville.
Okay.
Jay Addison in the chat with a fire comment. Jay says LSU will be the first 12-0 11 seed.
That sounds about right.
That's all the hate.
Listen,
that's all the hate.
We have another big game though. You have Auburn.
Shout out to Unc for the $1. Not to cut you off. I'm sorry, Tiger Mark. Shout out to Unc for the $1.99 super chat. He says, "Oh, by the way, the Bud Man ain't done yet. # GOAT." Yes, absolutely.
Listen,
absolutely.
Ask my guy Tiger Nick. I know he's watching. Love your guy. Love the work that you do. Tiger Nick, you got Baylor versus Auburn. And listen, only reason why I'm bringing that up because your ex-quarterback, what's Lagway, is quarterback in Baylor. Is there any chance Baylor upsets Auburn, or will he give up 4 like he did in Tiger Stadium a few months back? I want to know.
He says Lagway loves throwing the Tiger, so there you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm asking one more question, man. Who do you think will be the leading receiver after game 1 versus Clemson?
Trey Green.
Trey Green.
7 receptions, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
What if Dae'Quan Wright is allowed to play? You think he plays any?
Trey Green, 7 receptions, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
You stick with Green, and that's your final pick. All right.
Trey Green, 7 receptions, 88 yards, targeted 10 times for 7 catches, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, I hear you, man. But listen,
I don't give a damn if they put Justin Jefferson out there. Trey Green.
Trey Green, okay.
Like, Brian Kelly, for some reason, was allergic to throwing to the 6'7" freak show athlete. Kiffin in practice has not showcased that at all. There's a reason why there's been only one player since January that has worn a gold jersey.
Right.
That's not a quarterback. Number 7 on offense.
Gotcha. I am not arguing with the pick. The running back room is deep. The linebacker room is deep. I like the safeties, wide receiver. So all in all, it's a nice problem to have. So I'm not arguing with you about it. I don't care. As long as we win, that's what it's all about. So, end of the day, I thank you for taking my call, man. I love, again, appreciate all you guys for praying for me. And just as much as y'all pray for me, I do the same for y'all regardless. So, like I always love to say when I get off the show, GDT, man. Go damn Tigers. Y'all be good. It's been fun.
Thank you so much, Tiger Mark. You're the best, man. Thank you so much. We love you, brother. You have a good one. And shout out to Chance. Chance says Nuss couldn't throw that high last season. That's why he couldn't get the ball to trade that.
Silent again?
What up?
Come on, man. I can't hear you. I'm on my phone. What the heck?
You can't hear us? Oh, no. We got to get this fixed. While Steven is working on that, I think that's a GOAT comment. Chance, that's absolutely fantastic. Like, it makes sense though. I'm gonna start using that as a case study. That makes sense. I absolutely love it. Beautiful work right there. This show has been great. I know Unc is planning on calling in. Look, hit the link. Let's do this thing. Let me go and drop the link one more time again. And then I need to pin it into the chat so we don't lose it. Make sure we hit the like button, y'all. Let's hit that like button so we can run these numbers up. Get this stream out there. 3 free favors. Like, sub, share. Right? Like, sub, share. No. Wait, put it in. Like, sub, notification bells. No, don't do my dog, that American Patriot. He ain't got no Temu phone. Stephen Young's phone works just fine. He's usually our lead-off caller. Stephen, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We hear you perfectly, man.
I had to go out of the app.
Jay Addison says, I forgot to tickle that like button. That's right. Tickle it, smash it, hold its hand, love it. Give it some TLC. Hit that like button. Stephen Young, what's going on, man? How we feeling tonight?
I was trying to bat leadoff, man. I just was.
I know. Look, technically you did, but you got hit by pitch, so you had to come back around.
Yep. Guess what?
What's up?
Buddy Songy stepped into your show in the bottom of the 11th against Camden Manasseh of Wake Forest and hit that 2-run homer.
Whew. Man, Buddy smashed that out the park.
He did, man.
Buddy smashed that out the park, man.
Smashed it. I mean, Tommy White style. Total Tommy White style. I just got to say that.
Buddy smashed that out the park. I mean, man, like,
he was on one.
Look, and that's what being around Buddy Songy is like for me. When I tell you, I'm like a little kid when I get around Bud, man. Like I get so excited because I'm just like, what is he gonna say next? Come on, tell me another story. Like I don't touch my phone or anything. If my wife calls, I answer the phone for her. I talk to her. I show her the respect and love that she needs. But when I'm around Bud, man, like I could just sit there for days and just listen to him talk. Man. Yeah. I'm so grateful that you guys were even able to get to hear him and get to experience just not even just his wealth of knowledge about football, but just his personality, his genuine sincerity, his love and passion that he shows. Not just for the game, but for people, for life. You know, like Budman is a national treasure and he needs to be protected at all costs.
Yeah. I mean, he's a legend. And Ben McDonald is in that same tier as a player and as a media guy. I mean, bro, I watched that Skip Bertman tribute. And I'm so glad that nobody saw me watch it.
Trust me, I understand. Watching Ben throw that L up, man.
That was the most iconic moment I've seen.
So iconic, man.
It's the most iconic since
iconic, man.
Tommy White hit that homer. I mean, like really.
Put that on a poster outside of the stadium. Because
put it on the Intimidator.
Yes, like my God, man. And then shout out Nick. Nick said he even called out 5. He did. See, I'll be telling y'all, Nick is a real LSU fan. He be on it.
I'm surprised Nick understands the baseball part of it.
Nick is a sports fanatic. And he's a he's a lover of LSU. He's just a fanatic behind Florida. So it's a love-hate relationship. He went to the Florida side just to be an antagonist because everybody around him.
I don't understand why he has nightmares about the shoe game.
He's a natural contrarian. Well, because you grow up like I'm gonna cheer for this team just to piss y'all off. I'm gonna cheer for this team just to piss y'all off, and the next thing you know, you end up loving the team. So that's why it's like, and then the shoe game happened on his actual birthday. So
I can understand that. I can.
Ruined. So every time he lives another year, he's reminded of that moment in life. And then he's got a voicemail from me telling him, if only you would have answered the call instead of let that go to voicemail. Of me telling him, hey, man, this is y'all game. Y'all should win it. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Talk about the best birthday present ever. You get to watch Florida beat LSU. And then the fog rolled in. And then my phone call followed. That's the moment that shoe got thrown. So, shout out Franco Nation. Franco says, I'm sorry I missed the show. I had a migraine with the sleep all day. Just woke up still feeling foggy from it. I know how those feel, brother. I know how those feel. So what else you got on your mind, Steve?
Well, I will say this. Clemson is they're good. They're not great, but they're good. And Vizina's good. He's a good quarterback. I saw him play against SMU. And he did well. Right?
Yep.
But when he got pressured, because that SMU team didn't have a secondary that was worth a shit. Excuse my language.
No, you're good.
So SMU said, okay, we don't have a secondary that can stop him. So we're going to pressure him. And he was skittish in that backfield. He did not like it when they pressured him. And Blake Baker's going to see that. I got 42-14.
I ain't mad at it. I don't think they get 2 touchdowns on us, though.
Well, I don't.
Unless we give up one on offense.
Well, I think they'll give up one on offense. But I just don't see it. Lane's going to make a statement, bro. This LSU team has been catching, shit all year. Villains, massive, worthless people, all this, and Clemson has been catching, nothing. They don't, have anything. But you know what? Who has been catching the fire?
Who's that?
Ole Miss. They've been glazed by everybody.
Yep. They're getting a pass, and they're the media darlings.
They're so full of rat poison.
Media darlings.
I'm not worried about Clemson that much. I'm a little worried about Ole Miss, but they're not going to. They haven't been doing the work.
Nope.
Because they've been soaked up by all the love by college, sports analysts. Oh, you're so great. You have I'm telling you right now, Kewan Lacey with Frank Wilson, bro. They're going to be so disappointed. They went from Kevin Smith to Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson.
Who, by the way, told LSU recruits to hold off on their commitment. That's a stab in the back. That's a snake. And they're calling Lane Kiffin the snake.
Rules for thee and not for me. That's kind of the life that they live.
Yeah. And guess what? You know what I've been telling you about karma? It's freaking coming. It's coming on a degree that nobody in this sport understands. It is.
It is. It is.
Kewan Lacey is going to have probably, I would say, half to 2/3 of his last year's performance under Frank Wilson.
I wouldn't say half, because we're saying that.
I said half to 2/3.
Yeah. I'd say 2/3. I don't think he's going to get over 300 rushing attempts.
He's not bad. He's a great running back, but Frank Wilson's not going to help.
Frank Wilson's going to be right. Frank Wilson's going to pull that.
And Kevin Smith has made Caden Durham a competitor when he wasn't before. He missed the holes all year last year.
Yes, man. Oh my
God. People aren't seeing this like I am.
It's so frustrating.
But I'm telling you, I think 42-14-ish is the Clemson thing. Vizina is actually good. People don't know that, but he's good. He dinks and dunks. He checks down, check down, bomb. That's his game. And they have good wide receivers, right? 2 of them.
Yes.
So, it's a threat. So I'm not poo-pooing on Clemson because they have some good players, really good wide receivers. But every time Vizina's pressured, like SMU, by the way, here's the thing. SMU, a lot of people don't know, had a terrible secondary.
Yes.
Terrible. And so they realized that they could not compete with Clemson in the secondary. And so they sent all-out blitzes.
Yes.
And they won. They beat Clemson by sending the blitzes. LSU has both the blitzes and the secondary. They're going to go man-to-man. They're going man. You have Ty Benefield, Tamarcus Cooley, Fahim Delane, whoever it is, and DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland. Clemson, SMU did not have anything near that. Nothing near that.
They're going to be amazing. And shout out to Jay Addison again with another gifted membership.
Jay Addison is a dog.
Is cutting up in here, man. Let's go.
Bro, get those memberships up. Get those memberships up. Look, AP's memberships content is the best there is.
Thank you, Steven.
And
one of the first members only. Shout out to American Patriot for getting the membership. I'm telling y'all right now, man.
Blake Rufino has a great membership, but AP's is actually more in depth. It's better.
Thank you.
I'm not downing Blake at all because he's a great LSU podcaster.
He is. I'm still a member of AYS.
Yeah, I am too.
Blake does great work. But I also know what it feels like to be on the other side of the camera, so I want to make sure I give y'all money's worth. Like plain and simple. Like you pay $4.99, I want to give you $100 worth of information every time a membership video comes in.
Anyone who's listening to this that has not subscribed, you're missing out. I'm serious. I'm not homing on AP. I'm just saying it's legit stuff.
You definitely need to. Look, Carla Cat says Jay Addison is like Oprah out there. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. Seriously, man. Seriously. Chan says he doesn't talk to his audience unless they pay. That is the thing. I've noticed that. I've noticed that a lot. That's why I'm not going to be like that at all. Cam says I want to with LSU. I have a lot of memberships already, and I'm not rich.
I'm not rich either, bud.
Black Nova's answering that question for us. It was Dwayne Bowe. Thank you. So, because I was struggling trying to remember if it was Dwayne Bowe or Josh. I knew it was one of the early receivers. Shout out to you, Dwayne. So, Chance Babin in the chat said, which LSU wide receiver got his eyes checked and then ended up becoming a great receiver? I wonder if Durham needs LASIK. And it was Dwayne Bowe. That is a good point. Like, maybe he does need his eyes checked, but he was good as a true freshman.
No, I don't think Durham needs his eyes checked. You know why?
Why is that?
Because he hit the right holes the first year.
Then that's what I was about to say. Like his freshman season, his vision was fine. Vision was fine.
I think that Kevin Smith is much better than, that Ole Miss now running back coach.
Yep.
And he couldn't teach him that, and Kevin did. And that's the difference. That's why he got the 70-yard runs in practice.
Yes. But he did get that against the third team. Like that says a lot. Like, and Buddy touched on it tonight too. That's why I didn't bring it up, because it's like you're a former all SEC type of freshman running back. Like, you should be doing that against the third string.
I know Duncanville's a good program, a really good program in Texas.
Great program.
Yeah, a great program. And he was well coached there, but I think Frank Wilson misused him.
He misused all of our running backs.
Do what?
He misused all of our running backs.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can't wait to see. I asked a question that didn't get answered in this Buddy Songy chat. It was Kewan Lacey's yards decrease this year under Frank Wilson, yes or no? What do you think?
I wanted to get to that. Yes. Yes, I do. I do think that they decrease because I think his rushing attempts will decrease. I think that they're going to try to throw the ball a little bit more than what they did last year because I think they're going to get a little cute. And then Frank Wilson's going to rotate a lot because it's Frank Wilson. He doesn't know how not to.
Do you think John David Baker lets him?
Yeah. Because John David Baker is going to be in the booth. He's not going to be able to stop it.
No way.
Yeah, offensive coordinators on the sideline. They see the field from up top.
Oh, they're screwed. Yeah, like Kentucky under Joe Sloan.
Oh God, talk about that. Yeah, that's great. Shout out to American Patriot. Said his daughter just graduated from pharmacy school. Congratulations for you, my man. And now he says he gets to keep some of his own. Addison blessed him with that, with the membership, man. Thank you so much. BT, what's going on, man? He said, I thought you were doing call-ins tomorrow. Can't right now, man. Work? Nope. Remember last week I said it was the last Friday high school football started. Got a game tomorrow night on Friday night. So we're gonna do our call-in show tonight. And then next Saturday, we're gonna start kicking off our call-ins immediately following the games for our post-game.
So I'm changing my prediction.
Okay.
I said 11-1 with a loss to Texas. I don't think we're losing to Texas.
Have you heard about all the drama going on in Austin?
Yes. Inform the listeners, please.
It's pretty bad out there. So you had a player, you lost an offensive tackle. You had a player that's been dismissed from the team. You got shout out to my brother Howard Jr. Him and his son have some issues going on. Arch Manning looks sloppy AF right now throughout fall camp. So it's just not good vibes in Austin right now. People are pissed and concerned.
Okay, so I'm not going to predict 12-0. I'm not going to do that. I will switch my prediction to losing to Auburn instead of Texas.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I do think Auburn is a tough out because nobody knows what they're going to look like. And Byron Brown is actually a really good quarterback, and he's a load to bring down.
Yep, and we're playing in Jordan-Hare at 11 o'clock.
At Jordan-Hare at 11 o'clock. Now, I will say 11 o'clock is an advantage for LSU, but I still think Auburn is going to be a problem.
So I'm not going to lie. I think it is an advantage. I would much rather play at 11 than 7, but playing in Jordan-Hare after playing against Clemson, Ole Miss, A&M, and Kentucky on the road at 11 a.m. is rough.
Yeah, so it's right after Kentucky, right? It's right after Kentucky?
Yep. No. It's right after Mississippi State.
No. Oh. I'm going to change my prediction then. I thought it was after Kentucky.
It's after State.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm not going 12-0 here.
Chance says, are these predictions based on us having a transfer? Damn them transfers. We're going 10-2 with or without them.
And we're going to have them. We're going to have them.
Oh, yeah. They're going to end up getting them.
They're 10 toes down. Dae'Quan Wright is going to play.
Yeah, they're going to get them. They're going to. I mean, Jack Pyburn announced while we've been on stream that he plans to be at LSU if he's not on an NFL roster.
Well, he hasn't gotten confirmation on that, right?
No, they play tomorrow, so he'll do it by Saturday. Cut day Saturday.
Well, I mean, Jack Pyburn, I believe, probably will make a roster.
I mean,
he's gotten sacks.
That don't mean shit. Excuse my language. That don't mean a damn thing in the NFL.
Well, I don't count. I don't count on that. I don't count on that.
I'm not counting on it either. I mean, he might, but we'll see.
But Jack Pyburn is a run stopper. He's not a pass blocker. He's a run stopper.
Yeah, he's not a pass rusher. He is definitely a
but that's what we need. Rusher. That's what we need with these freshman interior linemen.
Exactly. You're right.
So
what else you got, Steve?
I don't know. I'm really high on this team, man. These people aren't talking about it enough.
Don't let them talk about them. Like,
bro, what else I got? You know what else I got?
Sunday at Cam. Shout out to you. Cut day is Sunday at 6:00. That's when final cuts have to be submitted.
What else I got? Ole Miss has been soaking up the rat poison. All the media's glazing them. They're all the preseason hype. And they're not that good. They've lost too much. They're not that good. And they've got Pete Golding, who gave up 38 points to Georgia as their head coach. And they've got John David Baker, who didn't actually do that well at ECU.
Puff piece.
And they're being glazed by the national media. I love it. I'm happy about it. I hope the national media keeps saying Ole Miss is a top 5 team. I hope they do it.
I mean, they're ranked what?
Like 8?
8? Yeah.
Like LSU, they're not.
LSU rolls Clemson. LSU will roll Ole Miss, and then going to the Texas A&M game with the top 5 team.
I believe that. I mean, I don't care if it's top 5. It doesn't matter. Ole Miss, I'm sorry, not Ole Miss, but LSU, Lane Kiffin doesn't care what his rank is. He could go into Texas A&M as a top 30 team. He doesn't give a shit. Excuse my language. He's out to prove a point.
Right. You're right.
I mean, he's got the team to do it. And if those players, Dae'Quan and all that, are with them, even if they aren't, it doesn't matter. Like, spot the ball. Clock it.
Spot the ball. Yeah, I'm looking at the poll now. Ole Miss is ranked number 9. Shout out Franco Nation. Giving me that update. Yeah, Ole Miss is ranked number 9. So they're only 2 spots ahead of LSU. So they're basically saying it's what and what's toss up right now.
Clock it.
Clock it, baby. Clock it. And shout out Carl Cat. Carl says never trust a person with 3 first names. That is true. Old John David Baker. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
John David Baker is the most Mississippi name ever.
That's definitely a name, man. None of my cousins would show up to that family reunion with that name, I can tell you.
Bro, Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to carve that defense up.
Yes. Cam says if we beat Clemson bad enough, we should be in top 10 after week 1.
I don't care what we're ranked.
Yeah, I don't care what the number.
I don't. It doesn't matter. It's all about business. And you know what? I think Lane Kiffin is actually doing this like Saban. It's all rat poison. It doesn't matter what you're ranked.
Yes.
It's how you work. And I've heard about these practices. I've heard how they're using the practice time efficiently.
It's so good. It's like watching the Saints at practice. It's so good. Like it's watching a pro team where it's so good.
It's elite. It's an elite standard.
It is.
And I see all the, I told you I've been on X doing all this trolling. and doing all this stuff. But it doesn't freaking matter. When I see the team working like they're doing, I'm like, oh, this is different. They're not doing it like other teams are doing it. They're elite. They don't waste they don't waste a second of practice. Not a second. They have 3 teams, like first, second, and third team, working at the same time on the same or on multiple fields, and nobody is having any time off. Which means everybody gets reps. Brian Kelly never did that.
No, you're right.
He just didn't. And it's an NFL run program. And I'll guarantee you Pete Golding doesn't know how to do it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, look,
because if Pete Golding knew how to do it, he wouldn't have given up 38 points to Georgia twice.
Pete Golding is trash. Oh, my thoughts. For the members only content that's there, shout out to you, American Patriot. You can see why I feel like Pete Golding is he's pretty mid. He's decent. He's not great, not bad.
He's a good motivator and good recruiter.
He's a fine coach for the team in Oxford.
But he's not a good in-game coach. And guess what? Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss are, and he's not. It's going to show up on the 19th.
Absolutely right.
I'll let you go.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Steven. We definitely appreciate it. I'm going to get Franco in here since my guy's been waiting patiently.
Can't wait for Franco. Love that dude.
With that migraine, man. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Steven. Appreciate you, bro. Franco, what up, baby?
What's up, guys? Congratulations on tonight.
Man, that's a dream come true, brother.
So I missed all of it. I was just sleeping, throwing up, sleeping.
Well, at least you have a good reason for not being here. Unlike P. Lee, who be missing shifts.
But
P. Lee be no calling, no showing on us, bro.
I
still love you, P. Lee.
I'll go back after the show and rewatch it so I can see what y'all talked about, and then leave my comments like always.
Absolutely, and I love it. I look forward. I'm not gonna lie, when I don't see you in the chat, I look forward to waking up and checking for your comments. I really do.
Well, I want to say this about Ole Miss. Stephen Young isn't wrong because the way they're practicing isn't the same when Kiffin was there. They're actually practicing the same exact way that we were when Brian Kelly was here.
Go ahead, break that down. Share some insight on that.
So you have players coming in late. They believe that players should rest because they're veterans. They'll do film study and just walkthroughs because they don't want injuries. Sound familiar?
Yep.
Does that sound familiar?
Team gonna be soft.
And then Chambliss and Kwan are gonna be scratching our heads when they regress. Frank Wilson's a good recruiter. However, his evaluations, he had missed a lot of times, even when he was here with Les Miles. So, he's a good guy, great, but when it comes to coaching development, I don't think he understands how to.
Right.
Because even Leonard Fournette, he just relied on his raw talent and be able to bulldoze people. Fournette gets in the NFL, he has development, and he's freaking really good running back.
Yep.
You're like, where was this when he was with us?
Right.
So, That's why I tell people who were all for Frank, look, relax. We're going to be fine. Trust me. Especially if Kevin Smith is coming over. He's a way better developer of young players than Frank is. I think Frank would be a little bit better in the NFL versus college.
I think he would be too, honestly. But I don't think an NFL team would give him a chance because of how he produces on the collegiate level. I mean, he might, but I think you're right.
Anyway, I just wanted to hop in here and say congrats to y'all.
Man, Franco, thank you, brother. Definitely gonna be keeping you in our prayers, man. Hoping that you feel better. I know you've been going through it lately, but I'm so glad. I get so excited and so happy every time I see your name pop up in the chat. So don't think that I don't appreciate you and your sacrifices, because I know I do. I know Nick does too. And all the chat loves seeing you in the chat, seeing you active in the chat, man. So even on those days where you're not feeling good, just know that you got a family of people over here that are supporting you and praying for you and, thinking about you and caring for you. Even when sometimes you feel like you can't care for yourself. We always here,
man. Yeah, some days I have my good days and I have my bad days. And then I'll have days where I have either a muscle spasm headache or a migraine. I can tell the difference because with the muscle spasms, I don't get nauseated. Migraines, yes. You get nauseated, and I've had them since I was a kid. Dude, I missed 30 days of school because of them. I hadn't been homeschooled, and then my parents didn't know what they were doing on teaching. Had to teach myself, and I said, I'm just going to go back to regular school. And by the time I got back into regular school, laws had changed. They were more lenient with people with health issues if they have missed school. Again, I'm 32, so back in the early 2000s, they were relentless at people going to school.
Right. Well, Franco, look, I'm definitely here for you, man. Definitely gonna pray for you, and we always looking out for you, man. So thank you so much for everything, brother.
I always look on the bright side. I don't have AIDS and I don't have cancer.
That's a way to look at it. That's definitely a way to look at it. You are absolutely right. Like, applause for that. Definitely.
I always joke, I go, when I go to heaven, when I'm dead and gone and I go to heaven, I'm going to go ask the Lord, and I'm like, is there a money back guarantee? Like, how does this work? Because my earth suit was messed up.
Like, say, bro, I didn't get all those features and functions that some of these other suits got down there. I know I got to get some credit up here to make up for what I didn't have down there, right?
Where's my lifetime warranty?
For real. Definitely, man.
My wife gets mad when I tell that joke, and she'd be like, that's not right. I go, God's laughing too. He has a sense.
He does. Exactly. I tell my wife the same thing. If he made me, he got jokes. I'll be making them all the time. So, well, thank you so much, Franco Nation, for tapping in. I definitely appreciate it, brother.
Well, y'all have a good night. And I'm gonna rewind and watch all of it, and then I'll leave my comments that you can see tomorrow.
Thank you, man. I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely, Stephen Young. We definitely gonna be looking out for your wife, bro. I pray. I'm telling y'all, I still pray for y'all every night. I've been praying for Franco, for Aunt and his mother-in-law Susan and his daughter. Anybody who has Franco and getting over the loss of his kitten and now dealing with these migraines. Anybody who's got a prayer request, just let me know. I have no problem adding y'all to the list. Stephen, praying for your daughter again tonight as she's getting ready for college. Look, this has been an amazing show. Like the Bud Man for 2 full hours. Like, what a way to close the week. Right? Shea Dixon yesterday for 2 hours and then the Budman again tonight. Oh, man. Oh, man. Shout out, Unc said, I just parked. I'm getting on. Well, come on, hit that link. Unc, you're going to close us out again tonight. Bat and clean up to finish off the show, Unc. So we're just waiting for you to jump in. Cam says, yeah, bedtime. Yeah, brother. Sun's getting real low out there, big guy. Sun's getting real low. Jay Addison says, this is why I don't waste prayers on dumb shit. Y'all need them? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This show just ranked up. Thank you so much, Stephen Young. Chance says, no show tomorrow. What about the weekend? Members only content coming out this weekend. Hal says, you still live? Yes. 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 We be rolling in here, Hal. We be rolling, dog. Cam's night Cam and says the next time we see each other here, it will officially be game week. Yeah, so Chance, I do have to coach in a football game tomorrow night. So we can't do a show on Friday nights. Nick's Cam says, Nick, I take it to the beach. I missed the eclipse on the beach because of this group. I ain't mad. Cam says I take it to the beach. Unc is trying to get his stuff connected. What you doing up this late, Hal? It says Jay Addison. Hal is peeping in, man. Them John F. Kennedy Cougars, baby. I thought I had my shirt down here, but I don't. My wife made me bring it upstairs. John F. Kennedy Cougars, interior D-line coach, baby. Right here. Let's go. Let's go. Chance Babin says, I think I'm out. Good night, y'all. Good luck tomorrow night. Thank you, Chance. I appreciate it. Update on the membership goal. We hit it. We're up 1. Actually, we're up 2 because we had 2 people join. We had 2 people join overnight. So we're plus 2 right now. We are plus 2 as of tonight. What up, Unc? Unc sound like he eating a bag of chips right now. Can you hear us, Unc? Unc, if you say anything wild, just know this whole chat will hear you. If you can't hear us, so tread lightly. You pocket dialing right now, bro.
Can you hear me?
Carl, we can hear. We've been hearing you. Carl, just to let you know, man, our call-in is going to be on Saturday nights after the post game for LSU, so you'll be able to call in. If we have a walk-off homer at 117, I will be up and I'll fire up stream. Nick will be asleep. It'll be 2 a.m. for him, but I will fire up stream. 11 for 5K pat. I'm not going to go that far. 3,500. 900, 800 on the ground.
Hey P, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Give me 1 minute and I'll be back. I'm hooked up now. 1 minute, I'll be right back. All right? Right back.
All right.
1 second.
All right, waiting on you, Unc. I need a cup of coffee. Jay Addison says, poor Unc. We fighting through it, y'all. This is why. So understand now, y'all understand why we did the call-ins on Fridays. See, look at that. They're about to get me in trouble. This dog wanted out. All right, Unc. Let me see. Unc, you good?
Okay, I'm with you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got to be quick because my wife. Oh, damn it. All right, my wife has summoned me. Like when my wife speaks, that's raps. So that says enough for me. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, if it's the weekend, we good. Tonight, my wife got to get up early. Jay Addison, who this? No. So just want to say thank y'all so much. Tonight's been absolutely amazing. Fantastic show. Y'all support has been nothing but amazing. Y'all have definitely showed up and showed out tonight. Thank y'all. Like Budman, 2 hours, and then call-ins for another hour. Y'all are amazing. Y'all see the look on that man's face. That's a sign of dedication. Absolutely, man. Stevie Young says I was late for work today. Not the end of the world, Nick. So yeah, Nick could be late. He'll be all right. No, he's not gonna be late. We're not gonna be late at all. So Mr. Parker said ball game over. You're right. It's over. So thank y'all so much. Definitely gonna get Uncle on next time. We're gonna get his stuff together. Just don't have time to wait tonight. My wife is calling me. I gotta go. So I want y'all to know right now. First of all, shout out to my wife for staying up and jumping in this chat. Love you. Shout out to you all for being here the entire time. Love y'all for that. Shout out to the Bud Man. Shout out to you, Nick. Absolutely fantastic job tonight. Thank y'all, everybody. And look, like we say every single night, if you weren't kind today, be kind tomorrow. If the Lord wakes you up, if the Lord sees fit to wake you up in the morning, be kind. It costs you nothing. Costs you nothing. Hold the door open for somebody, say good morning, say hello, say good evening, smile. Your smile can literally change somebody's life. Be kind. The best way to show God's love is by having those moments of kindness, of interactions between one another. Want to make an invisible God visible? Be kind to somebody. That's the best way to do it. Absolutely love each and every one of y'all. Y'all make sure y'all tap in for the members-only content that's coming this weekend. We're going to break down Deuce Charles and how he compares to Aaron Donald, especially coming out of high school. Thank y'all so much for all support this week. This week is fire. This is it. This is our last week of doing a show without a game at the end of it. We're done. We've done it. We sent off the off season on a high note, closing out with Shea Dixon and the Bud Man. What? I just blew my mind by realizing this. Thank y'all so much for everything. Y'all are the reason why this show is where it is. We got a big you know what? I might drop a video tomorrow. We got a big announcement coming for this channel. Y'all stay tuned. To my beautiful wife. I love that name, Jay Addison. Shout out Mrs. Tangent. I love that name. To my beautiful wife. Thank you, baby. I love you so much. And I know dealing with this tonight was another level of headache. But I'm coming to bed right now. No waste of time. Shout out to you, American Patriot, for the jewels. Thank you so much, man. Definitely going to treat my wife to something with that. Thank y'all so much. I love you, baby. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night. We out this thing.